All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to a Monday. Welcome to the last month of the year. That's right, it's December. You know what that means? Christmas is around the corner. We just had a little Thanksgiving. Welcome to a Monday. Good morning, everybody. Hey now. Hey now.
Hey now.
Look at you, Ellis. Hey now, indeed. 253-263-1540. Good morning, everybody. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got a lot of Disney stuff to unpack, all right, and some stuff in the news to chat about. We're going to take your calls, 253-263-1540.
Hey now.
Listen, Ellis, one was enough. But maybe just settle down.
Hey
Ellis, please. Good morning, everybody. I'm trying to start the show, and this guy's already off to the races. Good morning, everybody. 253-263-1540. I assume we're live on YouTube. I think we're live on TikTok because I'm looking at it. Little adjustment there on the fly. Good morning. It is indeed December, and I am excited. I am excited because the snow has begun to fall. The fires are beginning to crackle. The temperatures are beginning to rise. And in many ways, it's all about to freeze over, if you understand what I'm saying. And I'm kind of kidding, but I'm not. But listen, the end of the year is kind of an interesting thing because you get an opportunity to reflect on where the last year has taken us and the storms we have weathered in more ways than one. And going into this next year is going to be very interesting, to say the least. But I do enjoy the holidays as much as I don't buy into the commercialization of the holidays. I really do. I love, love, love Christmas. Like, I love it. I love it, and I love it just because the spirit of Christmas, the energy, the music, the lights, all of it. And I had these lights, right? I had these really smart Christmas lights, and I got them on a project. And so I was sitting on them. They're brand new. They're great. They're smart. Okay, and you plug them in, and your phone knows where they are, and then your phone does the whole thing, and it's great. So I'm a Jewish kid from Bucks County, Pennsylvania. I've never done Christmas lights in my life. So, after the radio show last week, I decided to go out front, and it's a big ball of Christmas lights. So I start to unravel these Christmas lights out the sidewalk. I don't know what the neighbors thought I was doing. So I'm standing out there in my shorts. Okay, honestly, I look like a 65-year-old man from Boca Raton. And I'm rolling out these Christmas lights, and then I'm wrapping them around. I'm like, oh my gosh, when does it ever end? Wrapping them around. I'm like, it's so much easier to be Jewish. It's 8 candles on menorah, one a night, and you're out. Wrapping them around. I'm like, thank God my parents raised me Jewish. Oh my God, wrapping around. The sweat is dripping. My eyes are burning. Finally, I'm done. I plug them in. They light up, but they're not programmed. They're just, so I got to sync them to the phone. I go to sync them to the phone. The lights turn off. They never turn on again. The lights haven't turned on since. The box is blinking. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you all do it. I don't know. So I'm sticking to the menorah. I'm going to get an electric menorah. Maybe I'll swap out the traditional orange bulbs for green and red. But I got the Christmas lights. They're up. But and now I'm like, I got to do firmware on my Christmas lights. Oy vey izmir. So enough of that. I mean, really, I was so excited. I'm going to have Christmas lights. They'll be red. They'll be green. They'll be maybe even red and white. I'll do a candy cane thing, and they're wrapped, and I was spacing them, and I was making it look good. And I was like, okay, 3.5 inches between each thing of lights, each segment, and it's going to be evenly divided because it's got to look good, right? Meanwhile, I look at my neighbor's lights. That shit is wrapped all over the place, and it looks fantastic when it's lit up at night. During the day, it looks like crap. But I mean, it looks beautiful. Mine, they're spaced evenly, but at night it's the dark abyss. You see nothing. There's nothing going on. These lights, the box just blinks. So I don't know. Though I don't know what to do now. I'm not going to go to Walmart and go buy Christmas lights now. Now I'm invested. So I don't know. So I tried. I didn't even expect to tell you about that, but here we are. And last night, thank you. Great effort on TikTok, on Live Fest and all that. But look, I love the support. I really do. But what it's doing these days is essentially subsidizing this endeavor, and going to the parks as much as I love it. The more and more I do it, I mean, I'm like, oh my gosh, how did I do this? And maybe part of it is because I've done it for so long. I'm in line for Tower, and the people behind me are whispering about me streaming on TikTok, right? Which is giving me mad anxiety. All right. And I don't usually talk about my anxiety to any real extent, but I get it. I used to get way worse anxiety, but I get anxiety. So I'm standing in line, and the girls behind me, that'd be really cool to stream TikTok in the park. That'd be really cool to run the park all day, right? And then I'm up at getting on the ride, and then there's I'm in the line next to you in the chat. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't even go to the park anymore. And I'm not complaining. I'm thankful. It's Thanksgiving. I'm thankful. But I'm like, oh my gosh, behind me, in front of me, I can't go. I got to go to Japan. I got to go to Tokyo. I'm in the park for 2 hours, and it's behind me, in front of me, and because they can see your screen, and I put a privacy screen on a long time ago so people can't look over my shoulder. But what people like to do, and I'm not even saying they know the account or myself or anything. What I'm saying is they see that you're live, right? And then it's like a game, and it's like, oh, let's go fight it. I hear the girl behind me, to our friend. Oh, are you going to find it? Are you looking? I'm looking. Just look for the trees. I'm like, oh my God, get me out of this. Please get me out of this. How many I don't need to ride this ride right now. Oh my God. So I love it, but I'm already thinking about going to Disneyland Paris. And then I saw flights again to Tokyo for as low as $400 round trip from Los Angeles. So when you look at everything going on in the parks, okay, and also just that, right, the oversaturation component, right, on both sides, the consumer and the producer, it's a bit much. And I'm just being really, really honest about it. I love it. I love Disney World. I love going there. I love streaming it. I love sharing it with my audience. But you know what? I had a heck of a lot of fun on that baking live the other night. I had a lot of fun doing that. And it was something very, very different. And the response was great. And, it just shows, we were making Jack cookies, so it was on theme. But, I like hanging out with people that want to hang out. Some of the folks that do this thing live, particularly on the TikTok side of things that I've gotten to know, have a much more variety stream than I've had over the last 3 years. And I really like the variety, and there is something about going to the parks that becomes a little more special the less you do it, particularly when you're answering the same questions all day long. And the frequency and answering the questions and all that is part of the game. But at a certain point, you're I want to say more. And for years on the live, I said I wanted to be unfiltered. I wanted to share my thoughts. Here we are. 253-263-1540. And along those lines, how's this for a segue? I decided to share my thoughts on the $10 cookie. And oh my gosh, you would have thought that I launched a nuclear missile on the Walt Disney Corporation. Oh my gosh, the comments on this fakakta cookie. First of all, there's nothing I love more than people who think that they know what's true and what's not from behind the screen. In other words, I have a receipt for the cookie. First of all, let me tell you what happened with this cookie. And I use the term cookie loosely because at best it was sandwiched cardboard. At best. Wasn't a gingerbread cookie. I know that much. I'm streaming. It's lagging. We're in Communicore Hall. Okay. Which looks like a train station. That's not fair to most train stations. And it's lagging. And they have a cookie kit for $10. I don't even know what it is. But there's some little DIY cookie kit for $10. I have them on my last cookie for the cookie stroll. All right, this is high stakes stuff. Cookie number 5. It's right there. I could have gone somewhere else, but it's right there. Now, I admit I did not look at the price because every cookie up until this cookie was $3.25. $3.25 for a cookie. That's already astronomical. $3.25. We have normalized $3.25 for a cookie. Here I am. I'm about to complete the stroll. Big winner. Gonna get my prize. What's my prize? Another cookie that I might have to pay for. But at least I won. So it's lagging. So I asked the lady, let me get the cookie. All right, how much? I pull out my Darth Vader credit card. All right, because if I'm going to spend money at Disney, I'm going to get the points. Right, because I'm going to maximize my upside. And she tells me it's $10. And you can imagine that after I picked my jaw up off the floor, I said, are you sure? Because I don't want the cookie kit. I just want the cookie. She goes, oh, no. The cookie and the cookie kit are the same price. For $20, you can have both. It's a deal. So I'm like, okay, it's lagging. I think there was like 90 seconds left in the 2X. We were running a 2X at the time. If you don't know what that means, lucky you. All right, take my card. I take the cookie. So I go outside, and now reality sets in. Buyer's remorse sets in, and I'm holding the cookie. And I'm looking at it, I'm going, what is this thing? What is the relevance to this cookie? It's got to have significance. It's got to mean something. So I'm live, and I tell everyone in the live, hold on, kids, cover your ears. And I take out my other phone, and I shoot this little rant about the cookie. Now, before I get to the reaction on the video, what I come to find out later is that inside Communicore Hall, which is quite possibly one of the most amazing buildings ever built in a theme park, and I mean, I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being sarcastic about not being sarcastic. There's a giant spaceship Earth, gingerbread cookie that lights up like the real thing, but it's made out of cookie. They're selling the extra panels, the extra cookie triangle panels for $10. We're subsidizing that installation. The little half-assed installation inside of Communicore Hall, okay, that underwhelming presentation, we're subsidizing at $10 a cookie. And that's what I realized. Now you get to the comments. I'm getting yelled at. Well, you didn't have to buy it. Thank you for explaining commerce to me. Thank you for explaining capitalism to me. Me buying the cookie, I'm not complaining because I'm out $10 and I can't afford to live. I'm complaining that it's corporate greed at its finest, and we're normalizing it by not speaking out against it. But there's something about this quote-unquote 20-something-year-old college quote-unquote educated generation that thinks because things are the way they are that we should accept them. And they choose all the wrong things to challenge. So I'm being yelled at by some quote-unquote progressive liberal about something they don't understand, or an opinion of mine that they don't understand or appreciate, okay? I can have an opinion, much like you're having your opinion, okay? But true progress is standing up for what is right. True progress is disrupting things. But I'm so tired of being yelled at by these college kids. Oh, you didn't need to buy the cookie. And, like, by the way, they got, like, magical Mallory or whatever in their name, or, you know, like skippity bippity boppity Bill, you know, like they're just, it's like, shut up. Like, I love Disney. I love Disney. I love Disney. But imagine if you had the kind of love and unblinded passion, like blinded passion, for another company, the way some of y'all have for Disney. Like these apologists, they love Disney. They love Disney. Disney can do no wrong. Disney can do no wrong. And I love Disney. But it's a giant corporation trying to make money. And if you were to replace the name Disney with something else, it would sound pretty absurd the way some people worship the company. And I adore the company, but I adore the company. You see? I don't worship the brand. I adore the company. So my opinions are based off of what I think may or may not be good decisions for said company. But there's a type of person out there that is addicted to the brand that says, hey, Disney's selling a $10 cookie. You don't have to buy it. Yeah, I know I don't have to buy it. But I also don't have to accept that that's okay. Just because something can be done doesn't mean it should be. Clearly, you're too young to have seen Jurassic Park. I mean, it's just like imagine instead of the Walt Disney Company, just pick another company. Just pick any other company. Just pick any other company, not an entertainment company, that decides to build a theme park. I don't know. Crisco. Crisco does Crisco Canyon. Crisco Canyon. You take your kids every summer to Crisco Canyon, every winter to Crisco Canyon. Oh, it's Christmas. Oh, we're going to go to Crisco. If you imagine how stupid does that sound? To worship a product? To worship a product? But it's Disney, right? So it's got this facade, right? This magical facade, and so many people buy into it. And if you know anything about Michael Eisner, he leveraged the heck out of that. The reason he was able to get things for free, the reason he was able to get Robin Williams to forgo his paycheck for Aladdin was because he dangled that Disney magic in front of people. There's something about the Disney brand that doesn't exist with anything else. Apple doesn't have it. Warner Brothers doesn't have it. Coke doesn't have it. Pepsi doesn't have it. Disney has it. And when you look at the comments in that video and you see the people that are defending the company who probably can't even afford to go to the park, okay, but are defending the company because it's like a cult, at that level. And they're not defending the company, they're defending the brand. That's the difference, right? They're not really looking at it through the right lens. So I stopped reading the comments because I don't care. Right? But I'm being yelled at by some 22-year-old kid that thinks that they're open-minded, okay? But the truth is they're a little too free-thinking, all right? They're a little too free-thinking. I think we've lost the marker. I think we've lost sight of what's real. I think at the end of the day, like if you really want progress, and I'm picking on these 20-something progressive liberal kids in college right now, if you really want progress, you have to be disruptive. And not in your bubble. Not in your bubble either. Protesting in the confines of a college campus, scrapping with other students on a football field on a college campus. This isn't progress. You're just, I don't even want to. It's I can't use the phrase that I want to use, but it's very self-aggrandizing. If you really want to change the world, you got to get out of your bubble. You got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to start talking to people that you don't agree with. You have to start understanding that people have perspectives that are different than yours. And you can like something and disagree with it at the same time. In fact, you can love something and disagree with it. A lot of people call that marriage. (253-263-1540). 253-263-1540. Give me a call. And I think the problem that people don't, here's the issue. So I love Nissan. Nissan is like weeks away from going bankrupt. I've had an Xterra. I've had multiple Nissans in my life, okay? Imagine the idea, remember Sears? Imagine the idea of these legacy brands going away and never coming back, or coming back in a different form or as a name only, slapped on a lunchbox. Disney is not impervious to being completely marginalized. I'll say it again. Disney is not impervious to being completely marginalized. When I see that $10 cookie, I see greed. There's no reason to charge $10 for a cookie. Now, this has nothing to do with me paying for the cookie. I'm good. I'll survive. Believe me. I got food here stored for the winter. I'm good. I just won't eat another couple days and it'll offset the money. But what I'm saying is it wasn't about me and the $10. It was about Disney constantly grabbing and grabbing. $3.25 for a cookie smaller than a hockey puck is already expensive. But because we're in the Disney bubble, and because there are so many people that think that the company can do no wrong, we've accepted $3.25. Explain to me where a 3x multiple with less than 1/3 of the flavor profile is acceptable. I would have given them $10 for the cookie kit in a heartbeat, because it would have been like a little project to do on the live. You know what I mean? So I did go to guest relations, and I didn't expect guest relations to do anything, and I wasn't a jerk about it, and I didn't record it for content, and I didn't even complain. I went in to the best guest relations office on property, okay, because they're always amazing in that particular office. And I said, I walked in, there was nobody else in there. There was a supervisor and a cast member. And I walked in, and the first thing that came out of my mouth, I said, "Hey, how you doing?" "Good, how are you?" "Good." I'm not here to complain. I just have to comment constructively. And I understand that it's probably going to just go, fall into the abyss and never be heard, go unheard. And he said, no, talk to me. What? Our supervisors read these notes. Didn't ask to swipe my ID, didn't ask who I was, nothing, right? Just opened up his computer and said, "Talk to me." And I said, "Here's the thing." I said, "I've worked here. I love this place. I give you my money every day. Okay? But you can't keep gouging people like this, because you're going to hit a ceiling. And I know, even though you're saying people are going to read this, that obviously it's only going to go so far up the ladder. But if people don't start speaking up, okay, one way or the other, then you will hit a ceiling." All right? And he kind of gave me this look, because he goes, "Well, no." So I explained to him, $10 for the cookie. And then he kind of shot me a look like, "What? What'd you say?" And I was like, "It's $10 for the cookie." And I was like, "Every other cookie is $3.25. And I said, "I personally don't care. I paid it. That's fine. Like, I bought a bunch of, whatever. That's not the point. The point is from a business perspective, you were continually gouging people over and over and over again. And it is not going to work. Okay? It's just not going to work. At some point, it's just not going to work." And he got it, and he wrote it all down. And I was like, "Look, I just had to say it. Whatever. Have a great holiday. Appreciate you." And I walked out of there with zero expectation. He wasn't going to refund the cookie. I didn't care about the refund. I asked at the end just to see what they would say. But I bought the cookie. That's my responsibility. But that doesn't mean it's acceptable. So if more, he goes, you know what he said? He goes, "It's the first day of the festival. I haven't gotten this note yet." All right? But I guarantee you, if 10 people went into guest relations and left the same note about the cookie, they might respond. I guarantee you, if they got a frequent complaint that looked the same, people actually took the time to not ride a ride, to not go to the bar, but to go into guest relations, okay? They send you surveys, fill them out. So I did my part. I went in, okay? Now, they didn't ask for my name. They didn't ask for my ID. I know a couple faces in there, if I would have ran into them, would have recognized me just over the years. I didn't see anybody, but I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. And to these kids in the comments saying, well, then you didn't have to buy it. You don't understand how the world works. You don't understand how the world works. And I would question if you've ever worked a day in your life. You know, the people have the power. The people have the power. Whatever we're talking about. And in the age of the internet, when done correctly, we can do anything we want in this world. Anything. Anything. And in many ways, that's why I throw my hands up in the air when it comes to Disney and the general Disney adult. All right? Because I've seen enough. I've had enough. It's disgusting. I mean, I'm doing the cookie stroll, and I'm looking around, and I'm seeing this one, that one, and the other one filming their videos, and I'm like, the park has become a soundstage. Not only are we asking families to save up all year long, if not longer, to have a possibly once-in-a-lifetime experience, but we're asking them to have it in the same place as all these content creators. And look, I'm part of the problem. Part of the problem. I admit it. I didn't think I'd be doing it this long either. But I look around and I see people like this Tom, who's a complete shill, all right? And it's disgusting. I'll use him because he's successful, so I don't mind punching up. I'm not going to punch down, but I'll punch up, all right, because the guy's making money, but he's adult. He's adult. All right? And he'll never admit when they're wrong. He was defending Muppets going away. I think for a second he had a real opinion, and that he must have gotten a phone call from PR. All right? But, you know, most of these people that are out there using the park as their backdrop for content, they don't want to upset the mouse. They want access. I don't give a shit about access. I don't need your theme park. I love your theme park, but I don't need it because I'm not chasing something. I never was. It was escapism. And then I started sharing it. I wasn't in it when it was trendy. I was in it when I was the only one. And now that it's a trend and it's oversaturated and it's beyond TikTok, okay, I don't want to be associated with it. I don't mind going there and sharing my love of it with y'all, but I don't want to be associated with the problems. So when I say F you Disney, it comes from the heart, because while the stock price is up, okay, the core brand values are down. And I'm thrilled the stock is up. But I'm really, really bummed that the brand as a whole is losing its integrity. Now you could say, well, it's a company. How much integrity could it have? I'm talking about brand integrity. Obviously, the desire is to make money. I'm talking about brand integrity. Thematic integrity. You know that Haunted Mansion gift shop in Disneyland? Some guy made a video. I didn't watch the video. I don't want to watch the video. I read the highlights. Somebody did like a Cliff Notes. And he's right. Everything that I read that he said is right. If he said it, because I'm reading somebody else's, take on it. But nothing he said is bold. In other words, these are core concepts. A true lover and understander of the brand understands why these little things all add up to a massive problem for the company. $10 for a cookie. $8,000 for a vacation. You laugh, but you can draw a straight line. Everything across the board. Gouging, gouging, gouging. Giving less, taking more. It's not acceptable. It also has nothing to do with my love of Walt Disney and the brand that he built. But I love, I love both the brand and the company, and I just think some people don't understand that there's both a brand and a company there. And some people are just so addicted and obsessed to the brand that they think that the company can do no wrong. And it's like, you can separate them and you can lump them together and you can kind of play it whichever way you want. But at the end of the day, it is the brand that makes the company. You see? There's tons of companies out there that could be Disney, but the reason they'll never be Disney is because they don't have Disney. It's the name. It's the legacy of the man. It's the vision of the man. And you don't have that at Comcast, NBC, Universal. It doesn't really roll off the tongue the same way as Disney. I absolutely adore the company. I am disgusted by the gouging. And you say, well, then don't go. All right, well, then I won't go. But then people will complain that I'm not going. So what do? You do a little bit of everything. Moderation, key theme. Moderation. 253-263-1540. Give me a call. I hear stories. I get messages of people saying, listen, we're going this year, but we're not doing the party. We're going this year. We're staying off property. We're going this year. We may not make it back for a while. But are you actually picking up the phone and calling guest relations? I posted a video I never in a million years would have posted. Okay? And the only reason I posted the video is because I threw my hands up in the air. What else is there to do? So I walk in, I file my little complaint. It doesn't mean anything. But like I said, if 10 of us did it, if just 10 of us did it, that would grab their attention. Whether they choose to respond is a different story. But if we just keep sitting here yelling and talking and not actually acting, action, then we're the fools, right? So when I see comments like, imagine buying a $10 cookie and then complaining about it. Yeah, imagine commenting about what I choose to do with my money and then how I choose to represent my thoughts on it. Like imagine you commenting on my commentary. One would almost suggest that I have the higher ground. Love the company, hate the gouging. Love the company, hate the gouging. You can separate the brand from the company when you need to. You can lump them back together when you want to. But for so many that are purely addicted to Disney, that Disney can do no wrong, and your best defense is, well, you don't have to go. Okay. We do not have to accept things just because they are the way they are. Yeah, I'm looking here on my notes. So there's a comment from Tom. And he goes, and this is actually about rivers of America. And he goes, the busiest theme park in the world doesn't need a riverboat and a playground that no one goes to. They also have no historical significance. They weren't the first. They're not original Disney concepts. They're pretty irrelevant. You're pretty irrelevant, Tom. You're pretty irrelevant. And in fact, you know what? I'm working on this. I'm gonna one up this guy because there's stories, I have them. Now, I mentioned Thanksgiving for me. I wanted to just kind of curl up on the couch and watch Star Wars, which I didn't do, but I did think about Star Wars. And you can laugh, but I've seen it so many times. So I'm sitting there thinking about Star Wars, and I had read it. I'd seen something. We scroll, right? That's what we do. We sit there. You just sit there and you scroll, right? So I saw something somewhere. I don't even know which platform it was on. And it just got me thinking, because you see all the outrage from in the different sectors of fandom for different decisions that are made, whether it's Disney or anything else, particularly in Disney. The outrage, the outrage, the outrage. So I'm sitting there thinking about Star Wars. Because I'm always like, if I was going to watch Star Wars, I'll watch, I love the trilogy, the classic trilogy. But if I'm going to watch Star Wars, I'll watch A New Hope. I'll watch Empire. So I got to thinking, well, why not Jedi? Oh, I love Jedi, but there's a tonal shift. And I had seen this comment which got me thinking. And it was, I don't remember the director, the guy that did Dune. Dennis, I can't say his last name. And is it Villanueva? And something like that. So anyway, he made a comment about Empire ruining, or Return of the Jedi ruining Star Wars for him. And I'm like, wow, you're like the OG Star Wars hater, because you see all these grown men go, Disney ruined Star Wars for me. Disney ruined Raise a Mary Sue. Right? Like grown men crying about, like, get a life. You're crying about Star Wars. But this guy's a feature film director, and he goes, yeah, no, Jedi ruined it. And I'm like, all right, that's some real talk. I mean, you go way back. I mean, I know people that hated the prequels, but you're telling me you didn't like Jedi? So I started thinking about it. And I'm like, can you imagine? A New Hope comes out. Just think about this for a second. You don't even have to be a Star Wars fan to understand this. But A New Hope comes out, right? And A New Hope is this disruptive, just gem of a motion picture. It's science fiction, it's fantasy, it's action. It's amazing. It blows people away, and but it's bright, and it's impactful. And it's this huge adventure. And then it's followed up by Empire. The Empire Strikes Back. And we go to Dagobah, and we see Yoda, and he's this little mythical creature, but he looks real. And he's funny, but he looks real. Doesn't look silly. Right? And then we wind up inside the Minok, and it's dark and cavernous. And then we go to Cloud City, and it's kind of weird, and even though it's bright, it's kind of spooky, because it's just this weird, very sterile thing floating in the clouds, and Lando's a little off, and it's just a very dark movie, and then of course we end with Han and Carbonite. It's all very dark. It's an extension of A New Hope. It's very dark. This is really good. Oh my gosh, the third movie, Revenge of the Jedi. This is going to be great. The Jedi are going to have revenge. We're going to take this tone and we're going to run with it. We start off with A New Hope. This is great. We're just building. We're building. Revenge becomes Return. The Ewoks get cut in half literally. And the Wookiees get cut in half literally and become the Ewoks. Literally, that's what happened. And you go from this dark, questionable world that has been set up for us in Empire, Hoth. So just everything is in question. It's Hans and Carbonite, and it's dark. And it's amazing, right? Empire is better than A New Hope. And I love Jedi, but then imagine you leave the theater for Empire waiting for Revenge of the Jedi. You hear they changed the name to Return of the Jedi. You don't think anything of it. It's a name change. And then you show up and teddy bears are fighting the Empire. Can you imagine the outrage today? Oh my God, teddy bears are fighting the Empire. Disney ruined Star Wars. How could teddy bears? Oh, a teddy bear? What happened to the Force? What happened to lightsabers? Now it's Care Bears? But it was the first time in my life that I ever saw it that way. I've never, ever thought of it that way. Why am I saying all this? fans are never going to be happy. The biggest curse for a storyteller is to get trapped in a world, right? Because they're like, oh my gosh, I want to tell other stories. Now I've got this note, and people want to keep hearing the same note over and over and over and over again. And if you deviate too far, people get upset because they're emotionally invested. And now you're tearing at something that they're emotionally invested in. So whether it's the Muppets, whatever it is, whatever changes Disney's making, whatever it is, like I saw it a little differently thinking about that, because I'm like, you know what? People are always going to hate change. You're never going to win. I mean, it was like the first time in my life that I was like, wow, people have been hating Star Wars since Return of the Jedi. And I love Jedi. Like, I love it. I really do. But it's tonally, it's a very different movie. And it takes the Star Wars property, and even though it was always designed for kids, because, see, the thing is George Lucas, the original Star Wars movie was recut. His wife cut the movie with somebody else and made it a far better, more accessible film for adults than I think it would have ever been if Lucas was left to his own devices. And you see that with the Phantom Menace. So I think by the time we get to Jedi, you know, George is drinking his own Kool-Aid, and he fully embraces what he always wanted, which was a kid's property, right? Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon. So it was always a kid's property, but adults bought in, and they bought in a big, big way with the first movie and the second movie. So imagine the letdown. So it's just always there. It's like it's never going to change, and you're never going to make everybody happy. And I looked at it that way, and I was like, you know what? Whatever. Because, I mean, as much as I want to sit here and tell you the fight, and like, yeah, I'm going to miss Rivers of America if they get rid of it. But like me personally, like, you throw your hands up in the air, because it's never going to. People are never going to change. People just want to complain. So I'm looking at this guy who says, hey, I don't want to make a Star Wars movie, even if Disney does call me, because I haven't liked Star Wars since after Empire. And I'm like, whoa, that's real talk. Good for you. You're not just saying it because it's the thing to say. You're holding your ground all the way back to day 1 or 3. But, you know, it was just fascinating to me because I had never thought of it through that lens, that like, oh my gosh, Jedi comes out and people would be just up in arms. And you look at the way people are up in arms with the Muppets and up in arms with so many things that are changed. And it seems to be in the theme park landscape, there's a certain fever pitch. You know, people get really up in arms, obviously with Disney more than Universal or anything else. But I certainly see it across the board. So being reminded of that issue, you know, it just makes me laugh at everything, because I'm like, all right, well, you know, it's as old as time, and adults are always going to whine. Adults are always going to think that their opinions are more important than the children, even though something like Star Wars was made for kids. And I just saw that, and I was like, wow, imagine just thinking that you were going to get Revenge of the Jedi, and instead you got gummy bears. Without that perspective, you can watch Jedi and go, cool, fun movie. But if your expectations were being managed off of Empire, then I completely understand why that would be jarring. So there's always going to be that sort of toxicity in fandom, you know, and I guess when it comes to creators making decisions, they just got to stick to their guns and do what they want to do. I think of Rian Johnson and Last Jedi and all the backlash with Last Jedi, but you got to give the man credit for making bold decisions, whether you liked it or not. This goes back to being able to separate things, right? You can like, I didn't care for Last Jedi, but I respect what he chose to do with it. In other words, you made decisions that I can understand, but I don't like it. But most people know I don't like it, so I don't understand it. And we can't live that way. We certainly can't progress. We certainly can't progress if we can't see things from other people's perspective even if we don't agree. Last Jedi, I think it was Drek. Princess Leia looks like Mary Poppins floating through the space. Okay, they tried to turn Luke into Obi-Wan Kenobi, but they failed miserably to the point that even the fans missed what they were trying to do. They were like, you turned Luke into an old crab. Oh, my God, you took the most powerful guy and you made him weak. I'm like, did you not understand that that's the poetry of Star Wars, that Obi-Wan Kenobi is exactly that? But you missed the mark. Even the fans didn't get that Luke is supposed to be Obi-Wan in Last Jedi. How did you miss? So, I don't know who's more to blame there, the filmmaker or the fans. I blame the fans there. So credit to Ryan for taking the risks, even though I don't like what he chose, as far as telling the story. But I admire deviating from expectations. And in many ways, not to go too inside baseball on Star Wars, he still honored a lot of the principles. He still did. He also gave us green milk. 253-263-1540. 253-263-1540. Still waiting for somebody to tell me what the big deal is with Pizza Rizzo. I've been asking. Clearly, nobody knows. Nobody knows. So, speaking of Star Wars and all that, it was Eisner who introduced Star Wars into the parks. And he did it, man. You want to talk, so Eisner was a really savvy business guy. When Eisner was doing, I think it was the deal for the Dolphin and Swan, he had never done a deal like that before. So what he did was, and I don't remember the numbers, but so he's negotiating with Marriott or whomever it was. And he feels like he might have underdone the deal. So in true Eisner fashion, he goes back and he says, hey, we want you to give us, I don't know, some $60 million, something like that, some chunk of money for a pavilion in Epcot. And they say yes without blinking. And then he realizes, oh my gosh, I made a bad deal. They coughed up that extra $60 million so fast, I made a bad deal. That was the savvy of Eisner, though. Eisner was able to learn from his mistakes. So he was able to use a tactic like that to not only get money for a pavilion in Epcot, but to sort of judge the value of the brand, or at least the value of the deals he was making with other brands, with his brand, right? Because what he was doing with the Dolphin and the Swan was unique at the time for the property. So when it came to bringing Star Wars into the park with George Lucas, he got it for like $1 million a year. Nobody had ever done anything like this before. So nobody knew, right? So he knew he was getting it dirt cheap. Lucas didn't know because Lucas just saw passive income. Could you imagine putting Star Wars in the park for like pennies on the dollar? So from the inception of the relationship, George Lucas was kind of undercut. And, Disney has always done that. And Eisner understood the value of Disney, right? So as savvy as George Lucas was with the merchandising of Star Wars, when it came to introducing it in the theme parks, he sold it for dirt cheap, which is why when he went to Bob Iger and finally did the sale, he was trying to get more than Marvel for not only his ego, but he was trying to get up on the fact that he kind of got ripped off in the early days, but it was the savvy of Michael Eisner back then. It was the savvy of Michael Eisner back then and the way that he operated. That is the same savvy that put gift shops at the end of rides that at one point he was vilified for. And now I look at the landscape and I go, where is Michael Eisner? Why is Michael Eisner not sitting on the board of directors? The short answer is Bob Iger doesn't want a shadow CEO, all right, much like he was when Chapek was there, all right. But Eisner, whoever comes in next, would be wise to bring Michael Eisner on the board. Michael Eisner understood the creative engine of the company better than Bob Iger ever will. And there's a story that that at one point Eisner felt like Bob Iger was gunning behind his back for the job. And it turns out he was. I mean, obviously. And so Eisner was getting paranoid that Iger was gunning for him. And Iger had so many meetings with the board, that he finally blew up on the board, and he yelled at them, and he said, I've done this too many times. I'm paraphrasing. If you can't make your decision by now, forget about it. And he just stormed out of the room. And it's that side of Bob Iger that I don't think many people have seen publicly. Okay? But I think that arrogance is shown more and more and more as of late with these decisions. And I think with a guy like that having 1 foot out the door, he's just like, you know what? I don't really care. Charge him more over here. Gouge him over there. Drop another DVC hotel over there. Drop another DVC lounge over there. You want to solve Tom Sawyer Island? Cram some more Cars IP in there. You know what I mean? And then he's going, okay, look, now we got a cost center here, and we're got, and it's all data driven, and it's corporate greed at its finest, and there's no creative decision making. Conversely, Eisner took his little kid into the theme park and walked around. You know, it was Eisner's, like, I don't know if he was 9 or 10 or 11, but it was Eisner's son that is the reason Tower of Terror was ever built. Eisner used his kid as a lens to figure out what to do. Bob Iger's got a set of die, okay, with Moana and Frozen on them, and he just rolls them. And whatever one it lands on is the one that he puts on. Oh, the other one is Cars. And that's just Cars on every side of the dice. So it always lands on Cars. And then the other one's Frozen and Moana. So he takes them together and he rolls them. And it goes Frozen, Cars, Moana, Cars, Cars, Moana, Cars, Frozen. Every time. That's it. That's how he makes decisions. 253-263-1540. Thank you for your support over on TikTok. Give me a call. What I try to do with the show, and we're going to do some ads in a minute. We have our sponsors. But what I try to do with the show is front load all the Disney/theme park news conversation. And then I'll go into current events. Now, that doesn't mean that if you're late to the show or you just couldn't get to the phone earlier, that you can't circle back. Call in. If there's something you want to talk about that I mentioned at the top of the show, or maybe even something completely off topic, just call in. I don't mind. The reason I'm doing this is I want to talk to you. You know, I've been live streaming the parks for over 3.5 years, something like that, close to it. And I don't really get to talk to folks. We used to do this every once in a blue moon, literally like once a month, not frequently. And I wasn't even on camera for it. So it's evolved. But I like talking to folks and actually hearing your voice and listening to your thoughts. And we don't have to agree. So don't feel like if you call in, you're going to get locked in a debate. But I love the idea of talking to folks that I normally only get to talk to. Talking with. 253-263-1540. Let's do an ad break. Are you ready to spice up your kitchen this holiday season? Pampered Chef has all the goodies, from spatulas and mandolins to amazing pots and pans and knives. Plus, don't miss out on small appliances like the deluxe air fryer and coffee maker to make your holiday cooking a breeze. Reach out to Colleen Herman at pamperedchef.com/PWS/Colleen Herman. Are you on vacation and the unthinkable happens? Have you been injured in an accident? Don't wait. Get the help you deserve when you need it the most at the law offices of Nicole M. Kennedy. They fight for your rights and work tirelessly to get you the compensation you deserve. Call now at 305-213-5438, 305-213-5438 for a free consultation. That's the law office of Nicole M. Kennedy. Last minute shopping from the parks? Looking to ship that package back to your house and not struggle with taking it on the airplane, call my friends at the UPS store located at 6526 Old Brick Road. That is right behind the Magic Kingdom. They will help you out. And if you're local, they've got P.O. boxes and a notary as well. That is the UPS store at 6526 Old Brick Road. And if you're looking to book a trip, travel anywhere, theme parks, Disney cruises, William Bailey is the man for you. William Bailey will help you book your trip, customize your experience, and find you the best pricing available. You can use the travel form on my website. You can reach out to William.bailey at academytravel.com, William.bailey at academytravel.com, and he will get you started. Sometimes we're so worried about this life and this moment we forget to plan for the life for those we leave behind. With no estate plan, you could be leaving those you love the most with high taxes, probate fees, an incomplete or divided estate, and legal fights and fees. A will or trust is not just for the Rockefellers anymore. If you live in Florida, contact RK Law today to make an appointment and safeguard the future of those you love. Send an email to Russell at RK Law Pro to schedule your appointment today. That's Russell at rklawpro.com. That's a lot. It's a mouthful. Happy Monday. That is a mouthful. I'm waiting for Ellis to call in because I know he wants to complain about Wicked. I don't know if he's calling in. I sense it. All right. Now, I don't understand. Well, I understand. But it's absurd that somebody would spend, like, what was it, $6.2 million on a banana and call it art? Yeah, $6.2 million for a banana duct taped to a wall. And the guy that bought it is some, like, crypto entrepreneur. And my thing is this. And look, I'm not really a big fan of telling people what to do with their money. But if you're going to flaunt $6 million for art, and it's not art, it's money laundering. So obviously you're not going to spend it the way I would like you to. But if you're going to waste $6 million on a banana under the guise of art, why don't you feed some people? Why don't you go sponsor some veterans that maybe need something that they can't afford, that they're not getting from the VA? Like, why don't you go take care of some people? If you get $6 million to waste on a banana, why don't you put that money to use? I can't comprehend it. And I know it's money laundering. It's not art. Because real art, you know what real art is. You feel real art. That's not art. That's BS. There was a play actually called Art about a guy that paints, it's a white canvas. I saw it in London. And it's just a white canvas. And it's like three guys sitting around debating this like $100,000 purchase of this white canvas. And then at like the end, the guy takes a Sharpie and draws like a ski slope and a stick figure on it. But if you're going to spend, if you have $6 million, now who knows? Maybe this guy is incredibly philanthropic. But even so, to waste $6 million on a banana duct taped to a wall and then flaunt it as art, I sometimes I don't understand the world that we're living in. I mean, you see, there are people in the streets, literally slumped over, addicted to drugs. Now, I'm not saying that we need to solve everybody's problems for them, but I'm saying if you got money to burn, what's wrong with trying to be a little compassionate and helping folks out who are in need? Why does everything have to be a social media stunt? You're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, Royce, it's Kat.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
So I wanted to go back to Muppets for a little bit. last week when you were talking about them on your radio show, I got emotional just along with you because for me, Disney has always been a big part of my life, and so has Muppets. I'm an 80s baby, so I grew up with, Muppets Family Christmas, which is very sad that you cannot find that on any streaming device because I think that was an amazing movie. I actually was able to watch it on YouTube last night with my daughter. She had no interest. I was so sad. But, it's just that, so I grew up going to Disney with my family. My brother is older than I am, so he was about 3 when I started to go to Disney. So, of course, I don't remember any of that. But my parents, it was the only thing that they ever wanted to do. It was a Disney trip. Never went to the beach. I went to the beach the first time when I was 21 years old, and my friends laughed at me. They're like, "You've never been to the beach?" No, my parents were Disney people. Like, we saved our money, went to Disney. So, it just is very sad to see something like the Muppets ride go because I grew up going on that ride and having that experience with my family. And it's like a little piece of your childhood, it is getting taken away because Disney doesn't know what to do with it and it's not making money for them. So they're just going to reinvent it. And it's just very hard,
I get it. And it's also because it's not even that they choose not to make money off of it. It's not that it's not making money for them because it's not like a set it and forget it thing. It's they've had minimal attempts to do something with the brand. And I get it's a bummer that it's going to go away and it's people's childhood and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have this brand, if you have this property, why wouldn't you want to monetize it? And my whole thing is if what's sitting there, it's already half built, and if it's already going to be salvaged for another land, why not just extend it and monetize that, and then create Monsters Inc. elsewhere, closer to Toy Story, and try to have a little more thematic integrity, and then it's a win-win. If they don't really want to monetize the Muppets, then why do you own the Muppets? That's just my whole thing. Get rid of them.
Right. Well, right. Like you said, they should give it back to the Jim Henson family. So that they can decide, what they want to do with it. And, that's where it belongs. It belongs with them.
Yeah, but I'm not going to, managing levels here, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it anymore. It's like, they're just going to continue to make bad decisions, and it's a bummer, but they're going to lose folks, and you're going to have your memories.
Right.
And at some point, there'll be a leader, there'll be leadership that comes in that has a better understanding of the brand. It doesn't mean they're going to reverse course on things necessarily, but I don't think it's a forever thing as far as like Disney having kind of lost its way. I do think that if they continue down this path, as I've said before, they will get gobbled up. And that's probably more than likely.
Right. Now, what I don't understand, though, is why aren't they putting shows like A Muppet Family Christmas on streaming devices? Like, is there something that they don't have the rights to it? Like, why?
Who knows? That's a great question. I haven't looked into it. There's a lot of things that get tied up in distribution rights. For the longest, I don't even know like where Indiana Jones sits anymore because the first Indiana Jones movie is Paramount, even though it's produced by Lucas. So I don't even know who streams that anymore. So sometimes those relationships they're so complicated. But I don't know if that's the case with the Muppets or not. I'm just speculating.
Right. I just wanted your opinion because I think that, personally, I think that movie is gold. And, my family used to walk around and say lines from it all the time, like don't slip on the icy patch, and stuff like that. But, I feel like it's something that should be out there. But again, that's my opinion.
But see, it's so funny because that's post Jim Henson. So I'm just, at my age, I see everything post Jim Henson as just a different era. So you growing up with the Muppet Christmas Carol, and I think his son Brian was doing the voice of Kermit then. But it's just funny to hear you grow
Mm-hmm.
up with that and consider that Muppets, because I don't even consider that to be the genuine Muppets.
Oh, really?
No.
He does make an appearance in it, though. And it's pretty cool how, most of his characters are all, like, together.
Who makes an appearance?
Jim Henson does.
In the Muppet Christmas Carol?
Yeah, he does at the end.
But didn't he
He's in the
die before
kitchen,
they made
and
that
he's
movie, or am
talking
I
in his
wrong?
pocket.
Am I totally wrong? Did he?
It was in '87 that it was made.
But why did I think that Steve Whitmire does the voice of Kermit in that?
I don't know.
I'm
I
gonna
think
have to
you
look
need
that
to go
up.
watch it now.
I don't know. Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? Muppet Treasure Island.
How can you? Those are two different things.
I don't know. I don't know. That's what I was thinking of. Muppet Treasure Island. But was the Muppet Christmas Carol theatrical?
I don't know. I think it might have been made for TV.
Yeah,
But it was
that
when they
makes
go
sense.
to Fozzie Bear's farmhouse, like his farmhouse growing up.
Yeah. No, my bad. Right. I was thinking of Muppet Treasure Island because I was thinking of feature films.
Uh-huh.
So that's where my brain went. Was thinking that Christmas Carol was the first feature film post Jim Henson. I take that back.
Right.
I apologize. But yeah, Muppet Treasure Island for me is like post. I don't count that. Like everything, once Jim stopped doing the voice of Kermit is when I was out. It's like even Muppets Tonight I grappled with because they tried, but Muppets Tonight, you can see the wrists of the puppeteers.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I will go watch Muppet Christmas Carol. All right, thank you for that. But no,
You're welcome.
Look, I wish that there was somebody in the company that could just take the bull by the horns and pick up the phone and call Frank Oz. Because Frank Oz would tell you what to do with the Muppets. The problem is Disney wouldn't listen anyway. So why pick up the phone and bother the guy?
Right.
Like, let him be, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But the attempts that they have made over the years as of late have all been frat humor, and it's just that's not what the Muppets are. The Muppets aren't farts and stuff like that. Like that's never been the Muppets.
Right.
Fozzie Bear farting is not Muppet humor.
No, exactly. He does corny jokes, but it's not farting.
No, Muppets are subversive. I mean, when the Muppets were on SNL in the early days, that was all like double entendres and adult humor. I mean, there was not, the Muppets were for everybody. I mean, the Muppets, what makes Muppet Vision so great is that plays to adults and children all at the same time. And the kids are laughing for completely different reasons than the adults. And the kids don't even understand why the adults are laughing, and they never question it.
Right. And, when you watch Muppet Vision 3D and, you're there, you get to see Sweetums, who I love, and Bean Bunny. And you don't see them anymore.
No. And I'm not. Now, what do you think about the use of the Electric Mayhem? The Electric Mayhem were not supposed to be front and center.
No. Mm-mm. Not at all.
They're being reduced to zany characters. They were supposed to be the hippies.
Right.
I don't know. Look, for me, it was all Muppets, the Muppet movie, and Muppets Take Manhattan. Those are my two pillars.
I've honestly never seen Muppets Take Manhattan. I will be completely honest.
No, that's fair. Really? Oh my God, it's got great songs in it. Together Again. And then there's the live action like Muppet Baby flashback sequence.
Oh my gosh, I grew up with Muppet Babies. That was great.
Yeah, no, you gotta go when we hang up. Go to YouTube and Google Muppets Will Always Love You, because it starts off with Kermit and Piggy riding on a carriage on a horse through Central Park, and then they flash back and they do a whole Muppet Baby sequence with puppets.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. You haven't? Yeah, you got to watch.
I will definitely check it out.
You watch Muppets Take Manhattan. I'll go watch Christmas Carol, and we'll report back, because you have to. Muppets Take Manhattan is so much fun. I think people hate it though.
Sounds like a plan.
I think it gets a bad rap.
Way to give me homework.
The one that I never really got into was the Caper. I never got into Caper.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one either.
The Great Muppet Caper? Yeah, I never got into it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever even seen the whole movie
So.
all the way through. I think I've tried as a kid and was just like, no, I'll go watch the Muppet movie. Kat, thank you for calling. I appreciate you. I hope you have a great holiday.
Yeah. Thanks. You too. It was great talking to you.
Always a pleasure. All right. Nice chat there on a Monday morning. 253-263-1540. 253-263-1540. I understand art is subjective, but that's not the point. And to make excuses for that is, in my opinion, is just, it's just sad. Okay? Art is subjective. So that's to suggest that if you had $6 million, you would waste it on a banana duct taped to a canvas. And you wouldn't. You wouldn't. That's just arguing for the sake of arguing. Nobody out there looks at a banana taped to a canvas and thinks it's actually worth $6 million. Nobody. That's a desire to be confrontational for nothing more than engagement. 253-263-1540. Take that money and go help some people. Take that money and go feed some people. Take that anything. Go do. There's so many better ways you could spend that money. So many better ways. But we'll make excuses. And the people that will make the most excuses for that are the ones that deem themselves progressive. That's my biggest gripe with the term progressive. It actually doesn't mean progressive at all. It means progressive for me. That's why it's so important to pull people back to the center. Lenny Bruce said it best. Lenny Bruce was ahead of his time. Now, all right. I saw this story about this guy who, I think he was brain dead or he OD'd. So he ODs and they go to put him into surgery to take his organs out because he's an organ donor. And it turns out that he's still alive, but he's like brain dead or something. And they were trying to push forward with it, but the body was still moving. So here's this gentleman who ODs, and they're like, even though he's not completely dead, they're like attempting to harvest his organs. And I always said I never wanted to be an organ donor because I always figured that something like that was going on. And that is just like one of those things I am completely like fearful of. And I don't fear many, but I'm like, so whatever the deal was there, and this guy's like, he's alive, but he's like, sadly, this seems like he's like a vegetable. But they go to pull his teeth out, and he's moving, he's reacting. And some supervisor apparently was like trying to force them to go forward with it. And I don't know if it was what it was predicated on. I don't know how they do that kind of stuff. But oh my God, that is why I have never been an organ donor. And I know it's completely irrational fear. But then I saw that story and I felt so validated. Even though it's like a one-off, I'm sure, but I felt so, like, as horrible and horrific as it is, I felt so validated. Because I was always like, oh my God, could you imagine? So, no, I will never be an organ donor. No. There's this whole Juice World thing in Fortnite. You know, I love playing Fortnite with everybody on the stream. Fortnite is bigger than ever. And there's this whole Juice World thing, and there was a concert in Fortnite the other day I didn't know about. I'm late to all this stuff. I gotta figure out what to follow to get this Fortnite news. What I didn't know is that also, IRL, in real life, there was a Juice World festival. A Juice World festival. And they trot out this poor guy. What is his name? They trot out this poor guy, Dave Blunt. I had no idea who this guy was. No, I didn't know this guy existed. I never heard his name before. All I see is this video of this guy. Does anybody remember Lenny from like back in the day of like, I think it was like Maury Povich or Donahue? Lenny was like the big guy that couldn't leave his house. And Lenny was so huge that they had to put Lenny on like a U-Haul. All right? They had to take a wall out of Lenny's house to move Lenny. This poor guy is being rolled up on stage, okay? And I'm not even trying to make a joke, all right? And he's got an oxygen tank. And I'm like, what are we doing? I mean, this is voyeurism at its worst. I mean, this man is dying in front of everybody, and they're trotting him out on stage like a prop. The only person that I heard, and again, in the confines of what I'm looking at, so I'm sure there were other people chiming in, but I guess Snoop Dogg spoke up, and this guy kind of shot back at him because Snoop Dogg told him to take care of himself. Never heard of this guy in a million years. Didn't know who he was until I saw the video of them rolling this guy out up onto the stage. And he's not, whatever he's doing, rapping, singing, whatever he's doing, it's not good. So let's not pretend like it's good. You're all enabling this poor guy. And then he's going to wind up dead, and everyone's going to be like, oh my God, how horrible. Well, you're enabling the poor man. Remember Amy Winehouse? Everybody enabled her. Now, I don't know this guy. Maybe he's talented. I didn't see any signs of that in the video from the other night. But Amy Winehouse was just an incredible, incredible talent. And everybody enabled her. It was the early days of social media. She'd have these wacky clips of her and was it Blake or whatever his name was? I don't remember his name. Blakey, whatever. And then like the thing with the mice. I mean, and everybody enabled her. And I just look at this. It's a stadium filled with people honoring the death of a rapper that overdosed, trotting out a morbidly obese man to perform for them. You tell me what's wrong with that picture, other than everything. I don't get it. And we will be the first to go, oh my God, what a tragedy. Oh my God, he had a heart attack. I didn't see it coming. Can't believe that the guy that can't walk, that has to perform on an oxygen tank, I can't believe he's gone. Like I'm all for supporting the guy, but support the guy's health. Don't trot him out for your entertainment, and don't act like trotting him out for your entertainment is somehow doing him any favors. It's not. That is disgusting and appalling. That is not caring. That is not, there's no part of that is so like just gross. It's a concert for a guy that OD'd, and now you're bringing out a guy that has a food problem or some other kind of, I shouldn't say, I don't know what his problem is, okay? I was trying to make the correlation between, ODing and gluttony. And maybe it's a genuine correlation to make. Maybe it's not. I don't know what the man's issue is. I don't know. Maybe it's hereditary. I don't know. But either which way, the poor man should not be trotted out for your amusement. And somebody's going to say, oh, yeah, but I mean, shouldn't he deserve to entertain too? Blah, blah, blah. He deserves to not be enabled. Y'all don't really care. It's like rolling out a freak show. And people will pretend like, no, he's super talented and we're here to support him. And no, everybody wants it. No, you don't care. Just calling it out. I'm just calling it out. It's the truth. It's appalling. It's reprehensible. And I hope that man gets the help that he needs. And I hope that not everybody in his personal life is enabling him the way that crowd was. I also don't know why we have a Juice WRLD celebration. But maybe I'm just old. 253-263-1540. I don't know. Can we just not get an Up and Smoke tour? I would rather have an Up and Smoke tour. Can we bring back the Up and Smoke tour? Okay, I'd go to that. 253-263-1540, 253-263-1540. It's all about meeting people where they're at. That's the whole idea. Now, I've seen more Cybertrucks driving down the street in the last 5-6 weeks than I've ever seen. And I am still not sure how people find this vehicle to be, I was going to say attractive. Is attractive the right word for a car? But I don't, there's nothing appealing about this Cybertruck. It looks so cheap to me. And like those panels, they look like they rip right off. And I've seen videos where people are ripping them off and they look like they're just liquid nails on, like it's just like an S of liquid nails. But I'm like this, like, you know, I remember growing up and thinking, why does every car on the road look the same? You know, being a little kid, why does every car on the road look the same? How come they don't design any cars that look different? Then they design a car that looks different and it looks horrible. I mean, the Cybertruck looks like a Lego piece on wheels. It's ugly and it's cheap and I don't get it. And I just, you know, I'm not a fan of Elon Musk. Kenzie and I were talking about Elon Musk on the podcast yesterday. But the cult of Tesla, I don't understand. Now, I'll make money off of Tesla stock. I'm all for that. I was having that. I don't think Kenzie and I had. See, it's funny because Kenzie and I have these conversations when the podcast is done recording, and it's almost like a little wrap up to the podcast, but nobody hears it but us. But it's like a natural extension. So I don't know if we had that conversation outside of that or during the podcast. But you know, the obsession with Tesla, I don't get it. I don't understand. Also, do they still let you play video games on the dashboard of a Tesla? I always thought that was actually kind of cool. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, I think you had Space Invaders. I'm like, all right. But I did, you know, yeah, sure. Style. I just want function. Get me from point A to point B. Point A to point B. I don't want all the bells and whistles. I don't want it to look fancy. And I don't even think a Cybertruck looks fancy. I think a Cybertruck looks dull. I just think it looks dull. I don't know if you have a Cybertruck, if you like it, you know, tell me I'm wrong. I don't care. I just see more and more of them, and I don't understand what the appeal is. I don't get it. And I certainly don't care for Elon. Like I said, the Tesla stock, let me tell you something. Anybody can make money off that Tesla stock these days. Go look at the charts. Anybody can make money off the Tesla stock. Go look at the charts. You can just there's money to be made because Tesla goes down and Tesla goes up and Tesla goes down and Tesla goes up. You can just sit there and make money on Tesla all day long if you have the time. But I don't like Elon. And he's so weird. He's everywhere. Like is he going to be in the White House? I don't want him in the White. I don't want Elon in the White House. I don't want Elon on Twitter. I don't want Elon anywhere. I don't even want Elon I don't like Elon Musk. I never liked Elon Musk. What did other than PayPal, which, you know, how great of a product is that? Although they did solve an interesting problem with PayPal in the early days. But, I mean, he wasn't the only guy. He didn't found Tesla. He's not a founder of Twitter. Richest man in the world. Biggest child. I mean, I don't want that guy anywhere near the White House. I don't care who you voted for. Okay, I just don't want that guy anywhere near our government. A, I don't trust him. B, I don't think he's that smart. And C, I think he's got a hotline to Putin. Okay? And irrespective of what you may think about anybody, all right, I would like to see this country succeed. Now, my personal opinions on where we're headed are different from that. Okay, I think we're going to be in a very, very dark spot here in a minute. But I still would like to the point, find a way to meet people where they're at. But that's a great, cute bumper sticker, but the Democrats don't know how to do it. So I do want the same thing that everybody else wants. And the only way we're going to get that is to hope that this this incoming administration is successful. Now, I personally think it's going to be disastrous, but again, let's separate the thoughts. What I would like is for something to go right. What I expect is for everything to go wrong. But us vilifying each other individually, that's not going to help. So we'll see what happens. I don't know why. I just have this picture of like Elon, like standing up there at the inauguration. You got a Bible for me too? I never liked Elon Musk. I don't trust him. And just look at the way he carries himself. It tells you everything you need to know. The things he chooses to say on Twitter, it just shows you where the man's mind is at, And I don't care who we're talking about in terms of the office of the presidency. I don't want Elon Musk, let alone any tech billionaire, in the ear of our administration. Now, there's all that big money there anyway, but Elon is just overt about it. He's just open. It's just weird. He's like he doesn't leave. He's like the party was over days ago. You're still here. Go home. Everybody left. Why are you still here? You got anything to eat? The fridge is empty. So, kind of swinging back around, it is the holidays, and everybody's making their cookies. We did the cookie stroll. We won our little cookie redemption pouch, and it's of all flavors. It's gingerbread. So I have this little packet downstairs of gingerbread cookie mix. Now, the gingerbread cookie mix that they gave me when I finished the cookie stroll, I was reading the instructions, and it says that dough's got to sit for an hour and a half in the fridge. Nowhere on the Jack Jack Num Num recipe did it say anything about chilling the dough. That's my first gripe. My second gripe is I go into the Discord, and there's all these people going, "Oh, I don't know. I want to make the Jack Jack cookies now too, but I don't know where do you get the big cupcake tray with the shallow pan? Where do you get the cupcake lines?" I'm like, I had all of these questions, and nobody would answer them. But it wasn't until my cookie took over the entire pizza pan that you all started asking the same questions. I kept saying, where am I going to get a cookie sheet or a pan that because the Jack Jack cookie in the park is like a big, thick cookie in like a cupcake kind of wrapper, but it's like half the height. So now I'm in Walmart, walking up and down the aisles, looking for cookie pans, looking for cupcake pans. Let me tell you something. I look like a lost dog. And then nobody working in the Walmart speaks English. Like never. None of the people working in the Walmart. So anytime I go up to someone in the Walmart, they don't speak any English, then they just look at me and they walk away. So I go up to this woman, assuming she's not going to understand a word I say, and I ask her where I can find the little cupcake liners. And hi. Could you please explain where to find the cupcake liners? And in perfect English, she's like, "Oh, yeah, go over to the baking section in the food aisle." And I'm like, "Oh, hi, thanks, bye." So I kind of felt like even more of a fool. But they got the cupcake liners over with the food, and then they had the cupcake trays in the aisle with the pans on two separate sides of the Walmart. Now, are they doing that on purpose? Are they trying to get me to go past the Legos? Are they trying to get me to go past the electronics? What is the game there? Why are all of the baking things together in the aisle? Why? I don't understand. Like, why? And here I am. I'm like, don't go down the Lego aisle. Don't go down the Lego aisle. Yeah, but do they have splack ears? No, they don't have splack ears. Maybe they do have splack ears. Does anyone even know what a splack ear is? You didn't even know what a splack ear was, but I Googled it. Now I know what a splack ear is, and I need a splack ear. But they don't sell Lego splack ears. They don't have them at the Lego store. Why would they have them at Target? You're not at Target. You're at Walmart. Maybe you should go check. All right, now we're in the aisle. What else is on sale? Abort mission. Like, that is me, right? So thankfully, I made my way out of the Lego aisle, free and clear. Then I have to go through the electronics section. And the electronics section's got the $5 bins. Oh, what is this? Oh, my God, USB cable. Oh, lightning to light. Oh, fantastic. Oh, USB-C to USB-C. Oh, my God. Oh, what is this? Is this power? Is that a smart power strip? Oh, $5. What is that? Oh, my gosh, $3. What is that? I definitely don't need one of those, but that looks shiny. Like, so I just put the baking stuff so I can get in and get out. They put the toys next to the electronics, and for me, it's like that show Wipeout. I'm running a gauntlet. 253-263-1540. I still have not seen Wicked. I'm running out of time because the clips are coming up on my timeline like one after the other, and it looks phenomenal, but I still haven't seen it. And I gotta go. Kenzie's gonna go see it again, she told me. I still haven't seen it once. Ellis told me he didn't like it. Something tells me he wasn't going to like it anyway. Why did he go see it? He said he doesn't like The Wizard of Oz. Why did he go to Wicked? So we're going to TikTok headquarters. We did our best with Live Fest. But we're going to TikTok. TikTok, I say we. I'm not streaming headquarters. But one of my goals in going to TikTok headquarters in New York is to talk to them about what we're doing right here. I know that TikTok is trying to get more into podcasting and all of this. And I know, TikTok has, they've made a dent in the market, but I feel like when it comes to IRL, which means in real life, Twitch is still the dominant player. So I have some thoughts on things that I might want to do with this channel. And I'm hoping, in this meeting with these executives, maybe in the mingling with these folks, that there's an opportunity there to kind of talk about doing some of these things. Again, one of the things that I really enjoyed about the Baking Live was that it forced me out of a comfort zone that I normally wouldn't have done, which is pushing myself farther away from the camera. I'm very used to having the chat in my face and being very, very engaged with the audience, but I didn't think I'd be able to manage that. So I've never really done anything like that. People really liked it, aside from the circus atmosphere of the content itself. But what I learned in that experience was that I could actually manage that distance. And it sounds funny to say, but I'm so used to holding the phone. When we started doing the Fortnite streams, it was weird for me at first to have the chat in a different software display and just be sort of engaging with the metrics and everything in a different presentation. So doing that kind of feeds into this larger idea that I've had, which is to do like a marathon. Originally, I thought maybe a 24-hour streaming marathon. Then I thought about a 30-day streaming marathon. And you say, well, why? Well, why not? Why? Like, something, on the platform, a stunt, if you will, on the platform that, could just be good for what we do. You look at like the Twitch streamers and stuff like that, and, they do that kind of stuff, these long form streams. And one of the things I've been trying to do with the setup downstairs and the setup upstairs and the Lego table and the workbench in the garage and all that is find a way to get this whole, not find a way, I know how to do it, I'm just slowly building it, but to create an integrated system so that I could literally go from like camera 1 to camera 2 to camera 3, like a broadcast setup, and do a marathon. Because I think at some point we need to do a marathon. Now, I don't know if we're doing a marathon for a cause. I don't know what that may be. So I want to kick those tires when I meet with the folks in New York and see what the response is there. But I love the idea of doing some sort of marathon. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm like sleeping on camera. Like I would just, I'd prepackage some content and air it for breaks and then come back. You know what I mean? But like actually like a stream that starts and doesn't stop for maybe 30 days. Like a non, like, and you could go live and like, you could cut away, to me, there's something there. So I'm curious to see what the folks at TikTok think. I'm also actually curious to see what they have to say about TikTok actually going away. I think they'll be coy about that. I actually, speaking of Elon Musk, heard or read that the CEO of TikTok reached out to Elon Musk. So that's another issue I have, right? Is now Elon Musk is like the secretary to the president-elect. So if you have Elon's phone number and you want to get the president-elect's attention, you just pick up the phone and call Elon. Elon's it's not lost on me that Elon has literally become the little birdie. I mean, you just whisper into Elon's ear and whatever. So I'm very uncomfortable with that. Now I've gone back from baking to Elon, back again, but I can. It's easy to do. 253-263-1540, 253-263-1540. We will be doing the radio shows when we travel. I have put together a portable radio setup. So what I want to do one of these afternoons this week is downstairs at the table, call it the Larry King setup, is actually do a radio show test, not using this setup, but using all mobile equipment so that I can make sure that I have everything I need and that it works. So I kind of was packing all that stuff up and looking at what that looks like and trying to figure out what I'm missing. And I was like, you know what? Why not just wire it all up, do a live test, take a call or two, and just know that you have the whole system running, the mobile setup. Because I could basically take everything we have here and reduce it down to a bag, right? And then we can do this live radio show wherever. So if we're in the city, we can still do these radio shows. We're not going to miss them. If I'm in an airport and Kenzie and I want to record the podcast, I can still do it. So trying to figure out how to take, and again, look, I took a couple months there to sort of shut down and move into what I call pre-production. And this setup here has always been the jumping off point for something more portable. This particular mixer I'm using, not to get too technical, but this particular mixer is the Rodecaster, and it actually does have a external battery. So while this is portable, it is larger than a laptop, so it's not ideal. The little mixer that I was showing you the other day after the baking live can fit in my pocket, right? And it's got Bluetooth functionality. So that now allows me to do everything that I'm doing here with something that can fit in my pocket, some iPads, some cell phones, and we're off to the races. So I just want to test that model this week so that when we travel, we're not missing anything. And then in terms of travel, I do want to get out to LA. And I want to do another Disney International park. And I think if I could find a dirt cheap ticket to Paris, that would be the place to go next. Just because I think the logistics of going to China would be a little cumbersome. Now, we're also planning, I got to talk to William about this. I have not spoken to William since Thanksgiving. But we have to start getting organized on the Tokyo trip. We are planning a Tokyo trip. There's a lot of viewers and families that have expressed interest. So I think if we're working towards next October, give or take, for a Tokyo trip, that might be probably. I think by then it'll be pretty reasonable in terms of getting into Fantasy Springs. A year, what did that be? That'll be like Fantasy Springs opened last summer, so that'll be a year and a half. So I think it'll be a good time to go. You know what I mean? I think by then they should have and I already heard attendance was down. I don't know how true it is, but I think by then, it'll be manageable. You could get into Fantasy Springs, okay? But if I'm there with you, I'll make sure we get into Fantasy Spring. And I think going in October is a good time. I've done it now twice. You're on the air. Who's this?
Royce, it is ping pong.
How are you, sir?
No, good. I enjoy your radio show as well as your stream, but I thought I'd give you a call in and give you something to think about.
All right.
Your comments relating to the direction of the park, I agree with 100%. But let me be a contrarian for a moment. Many people are stockholders of Disney. And as you know, the board has responsibilities, financial oversight, compliance, things of that sort. And I hate to say it, but if there's a direction to make money and to service the stockholders, that's the direction that they're going to go into. I want to see if you kind of agree with that or not agree, and where the balance is for that.
Well,
because if you look at the Disney stock for a number of years, I mean, it was as high as close to 200 back in, I think, 2001, 2002 timeframe. Now it's hovering around 117, which is good for all of us. But you have to balance that with their, quote, customers, clients. And I think that, it's a tough balance for those of us that like the Muppets, those of us that like certain aspects of the park. But sometimes it conflicts with what the board and higher ups are supposed to do. And I wanted to see your take on that.
Well, first of all, I think you and I can both agree that the only reason the stock is as high as it is right now is because I bought that cookie the other day.
Absolutely. That $10, it put them over the edge.
It did. But in all seriousness, that stock for a while was under 100. So that move up,
yes.
Where is it sitting today? I'm not even looking. Do you know?
Around 117.
Wow. So once it breaks $1.20, like that's fantastic because we haven't seen that since what, pre-pandemic?
Yeah.
Something like that. So they're a company. I'm all about making money. I just think that there's ways to make money that don't involve constantly bleeding everybody dry. But also, if you're going to raise prices, increase the experience, or at least provide the same experience that you've been providing. Constantly taking away and offering less and charging more, you're going to hit a ceiling. There are folks that can afford to keep paying. But don't you think inevitably at some point they're going to max out and hit a ceiling, and they're not going to have that next generation coming in if they're still around as a company?
I agree with you 100%, but the marketing group of this is saying, hey, we are giving you value for your money. We're having another theme park. We're doing this. We're doing that. We're putting money into it. Look, we're rehabbing this ride. We're redoing this. Whether it's true or not, and the amount of money that they're spending is commensurate with the expense or the income that they're going to generate by increasing revenue. That's, who knows if that's accurate, but at least the perception is that they're doing things. At least they're telling you they're doing things, whether it's, equal to what the increase in costs. Who knows?
May I call you by your name? Or do you not want me to say
Sure, if that's okay. I don't know what was allowed. No, my name is Jay.
I know it's Jay. That's why. Hey, just because I call you Ping sounds so like, I'm having a real conversation with you. So, Jay, look, here's my thing. The pursuit of money, I'm all for, right? Like the company's got to make money. And, if you're just trying to appease shareholders and all you care about is making money, then of course you're going to lean on the data. Okay, and if you're trying to keep this company going, the data's the safe play. But if you were Walt Disney starting the company tomorrow from the ground up, from scratch, you would have to take risks. You would have to break norms. You would have to think outside the box. So you wouldn't be relying on data. You would be completely going in the opposite direction of the data. You would be breaking new ground. So I think that there's got to be a balance there. There has to be a pursuit of daring to be different. There has to be creative energy. There has to be a balance there. I'm not saying it's an all or nothing proposition. The data's the safe play. The founder took risks. None of these guys in the C-suites want to take risks because they don't want to lose their executive level compensation.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. However, there's a new force that's in place. And again, I wasn't around, obviously. Well, I guess I was around, but too little to know what was going on when Walt was here. And that is today you have interests that are on the board currently that are major shareholders. And if you don't kind of appease them, then any type of management or the folks that are in power could be at risk of losing their job through stockholder vote. And obviously we went through that. We talked about that a little bit when that occurred this last go around. And it's a constant conflict. And I agree with you 100% that you need to show value. When people go there, it's very sad. When I was on a plane coming down to Orlando, I heard families that they're going to the Magic Kingdom and they're staying a week and they save 5 years worth of savings in order to spend a week with their kids here. I mean, obviously, personally, I think that's a wrong decision. No disrespect. I just think that 5 years worth of savings to blow it in a week is just not a good course to go into. But with that said, it shouldn't be that. You know, I'm not a historian like you as far as Walt concerned, but I remember his words there. He wanted to make it affordable for everyone. It is not affordable for most these days.
Well, I do not fancy myself a historian by any stretch, but I appreciate that. What I would also suggest is that
you do a great job.
Well, the board is stacked with Iger people too. So you're not only are they literally invested, but they're yes men. So nobody's going to challenge him. Did you read the article? I think it was the New York Times put out. Did you read the article about what went on between, was it Susan Arnold, Bob Iger, and Bob Chapek?
I did not.
Okay.
I didn't see it.
Let me tell you something. Go read it, and you're going to want to read it again because it's so long. But they took the time. I think it was the New York Times. But they took the time and energy to go interview all of these people, and they revealed what actually transpired when Bob Iger left and Chapek took over, and how Bob Chapek never got to sit down and interview with the board. He was just thrown into the job, and Bob Iger assured him that he would have autonomy, but Bob Iger undermined him by becoming a shadow CEO with the board. And at one point, Bob Iger was literally called into the board's office and told him to pump the brakes and let Chapek do his job. But then ultimately, Iger started saying, you know what, I can come back if I want to. And so the whole entire time, Bob Iger was playing Bob Chapek. And this is not speculation. This is all written out in the article. And when you look at that, you go, where in all of this is anybody actually operating a company? This is all high school drama at the corporate level. Okay? Bob Iger was using Bob Chapek as a smokescreen. Okay? I don't know why he left in the first place. My theory is Iger wanted to run for president, and that was the only reason he left the job as CEO. And then when he realized that the Democrats were not going to allow that to happen on their ticket ever, he got restless. It's a fascinating read. But I look, we need co-leadership at the top. We need Staggs and Mayer. That's the only viable solution right now.
Well, I think that the parks themselves, they really serve a purpose by bringing families together. And I agree with you that if it continues to gouge the people, they're going to lose that, and it's going to turn into something that's not family friendly. It's maybe even there at this moment in time. It's just the cost of everything there is just atrocious. It's an embarrassment. And I think that your video and what you stated was absolutely correct. $10 for a cookie for a little square is just, everything there is so expensive. But sometimes people go into the frame of mind that, hey, it's on vacation. I don't care what it is. I mean, they exit a ride, they buy a magnet for $20 because it has a Tower of Terror on it or whatever it is. And I think people are in that mindset, but I think it gets to a point where people have to realize, well, what the heck am I doing? And I don't think we're there yet. So again, there's a balance.
Yeah, and you know what? There was no eloquent way to say eloquent way to say what I wanted to say. So I just said it as raw and real as possible. And just because they can charge something doesn't mean they should. And I think there needs to be a certain responsibility. I go back to this Netflix Tyson fight a couple weeks ago. Why is it acceptable that they delivered an inferior product? Why is it acceptable? If you did that in pay-per-view and delivered an empty signal to everybody's household, everybody would have been up in arms demanding a refund. But because everybody's already paying for Netflix, or most people already are, Netflix delivered a subpar product, and there was there's that one guy in Florida that launched a class action lawsuit. But where was the outrage? There was more outrage over the fight being quote-unquote rigged than there was over the quality of the product. And I think generally speaking, there's no consumer advocacy in this country. That's why I used to love Ralph Nader. You could laugh all day long at Ralph Nader, but the man was a consumer advocate. Do we have those anymore?
No, absolutely. Yeah.
So I just look at it that way, and it's like, all right, yeah, Disney can get $10 for a cookie. Doesn't mean they should. And also, if you're charging that kind of money, then your ride should be running. Okay, I don't want to see rust outside of Tron. That's too new of an attraction. Okay, I shouldn't see layers of dust when I ride Buzz Lightyear. Things should be clean and pristine. If you're going to keep charging arms and legs, okay, then you may as well uphold the standard that the founder implemented. And if you can't do that, then maybe you don't understand the company you're running.
No, I agree with that. You're paying for a premium product, and you should get premium service all the way around and not be gouged. I think I agree with you. However, I'm going to offer a little pushback.
Please.
People have a choice. People have a choice. And I know you said you don't like to hear people say that, but they do. You have a choice of paying the money or not. It shouldn't be like that. And, hey, you're not stuck in a box whether you're there or not. But you have a choice. You're going to know when you go there that you're going to be paying a lot of money, being overcharged. But on the other hand, that doesn't mean that you can't voice your concern and say, hey, that's not right. But again, people have a choice.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't have an issue with people saying that you have a choice. The issue I have with the people in the comments are saying if you don't like it, then don't buy it kind of thing, is those people would never actually follow that edict. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I've been in the park less and less. Yes. I'm giving the park every day that I'm in the park less is less money I'm giving the company for coffee, for a snack, for whatever, right? For an impulse buy on a pin, like you said, or a popcorn bucket because it's cute and the chat's like, you should get it. You know what I mean? So just by making those moves, I'm actually doing what I'm saying I'm going to do. Whether I meant to or not is another story. I take umbrage with the people that say then don't do it, but they're the first. They'll never actually practice what they preach. Because the flip side of that is most of these people would never want to upset the mouse because they'd be too afraid they couldn't get back. They couldn't be allowed in.
Yeah.
And most people today's
we are in agreement.
Yeah, we agree about most things, I think. But most people in today's day and age don't want to. It's like, yeah, you got people that'll be disruptive, but most people, it's like, no, I'm okay with status quo. And accepting complacency is hugely problematic and historically is dangerous. So the people that accept complacency, I take umbrage with. Yes, I bought the cookie. I could have absolutely said no. All right. But me buying the cookie doesn't invalidate the issue.
Yeah.
I'm not buying another thing from I'm not buying another thing from that festival. There's things I would have tried, but after that, I'm not doing it. I'm actually going to follow what I'm saying. I'm actually going to, I got my AP, I'll go use the park, but I'm not giving them a dime for food from those festivals. I'll go to Costco and work the sample counters before I'll go give them another dime for festival food.
I agree. I think your resolution is a good one, and I think your comments are good. I would think that more people should do that, and maybe they'd wake up and say, hey, maybe we should ease off on this, or let's be more reasonable in our pricing, because if you have a family of 3, 4, 5, just for a cookie, it's $30, $40, $50. I mean, is that right? It's outrageous.
It wasn't even a good cookie. Now, here's the thing. If I bit into that cookie and it was like at the level of like the shrimp, not that it tasted like the shrimp and grits from Olivia's, but if it was like of the flavor, like excitement of flavor that I get from something like that, then I'd be like, oh my God, $10 for this cookie. It's ridiculous, but it's delicious. It wasn't even good. At least if you're going to charge me $10, make it taste good. Charge me $3.25 for the crappy cookie and charge me $10 for the black and white, okay?
Yeah. Well, those that go down during the holidays and stay at the Grand Floridian, I'm sure they have the gingerbread house there.
Yeah.
And it's mystifying. People stand in line, and the line is a serpentine just around the whole place to get up there, and they're spending $100, $200 on, in essence, what you just said, just a gingerbread cookie to help compensate for the build of that and the time it took to build that. And it's mystifying on how people do that. And,
that's what occurred to me.
Gouging. Yeah.
The $10 is a round number, Jay. So there was a cost to make that Epcot Spaceship Earth gingerbread cookie. And somebody said, listen, we'll sell the cookies, and if we sell them at $10, we have to, now it's a round number. We sell X times 10, and we've paid for the install. And now we can do this at a zero cost. I guarantee you that's what they did.
What?
Otherwise, it wouldn't be an even 10.
I agree with you.
It would have been $9.25.
But they have to do that. Don't they have to do that, Royce? But as a management,
yeah, but hide it.
Instead of a consumer, put on your management hat. You're not going to stay in management. Well,
yeah, but but there's no show. Give me show.
Yeah.
Like, in other words, I understand.
But they don't have to. They don't have to.
But that's the problem.
Line, they don't have to.
Because they have such an oversaturation of demand. When you have that much demand, you don't need to have quality in your supply chain. So
that's why the brand, or whatever you want to call it, the mystique of Disney is so grand. When I was younger, 1,000 years ago, I was sitting somewhere, and the guy says, all right, what is the most popular, if I said MM, what is the most popular MM in the world?
Marshall
Marilyn
Mathers.
Monroe, this, that. It's Mickey Mouse.
Oh, sorry.
So I enjoy your radio show. Keep up the great work, Royce. And hopefully this will take off to be the next Larry King. And you do a good Larry King impression, by the way.
Thank you. Jay, you're off the air. Thank you, sir. Take care.
Take care.
I just like when I get that mic in front of me on the table. It's like a throwback. I love it. I don't know. I was sitting there after the baking live. Jay is such a nice guy. I've met him, and I was sitting there after the baking live, and I was like just sitting in front of the mic, just joking that I was going to switch from a Disney Live channel, no more Disney Park streams, and it was just going to be a Larry King NPC live. And 2 people were like, "Oh my gosh, really? I'm going to miss your lives." And I was like, "That's hilarious. That's hilarious." Because they're going to tune in one day and be like, "Where's the Larry King live? I thought this was Larry King live." And that long payoff in a joke is hilarious. It's kind of like the time that I sent Jeannie a beanie in her prize package, not because she won a beanie, but because I knew 2 months later it would come up in conversation, and I could literally say, "I sent Jeannie a beanie," because it sounded funny. It's the long payoff. Okay, it's the long payoff. 253-263-1540. The best jokes have the long payout. 253-263-1540. That's the truth. She didn't win a beanie. I just sent Jeannie a beanie so that when it came up in conversation, I could say, "Jeannie, did you enjoy the beanie?" And then Jeannie could say, "Royce, thank you for the beanie." And I'd say, "Jeannie, it was my pleasure to send you a beanie." Jay's such a nice guy, though. I've actually sat down with Jay. You know, I really try not to do that anymore. I've learned. But and by the way, he barely pushed back on me. I've sat down with this guy. I wanted him to push back. Next time, Jay, call in and tell me I'm wrong. That'll make for radio. I'm not sitting here and saying I'm right. I'm just opining. But I do appreciate that. I do like the pushback. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. That's what listen, it takes friction to make motion. But Jay hit the nail on the head. Look, people are going to pay. They're going to pay. I'm done. I'm telling you, my game plan is this. We go to the park. We stream the parks when we stream the parks. I'm like maybe a Starbucks coffee, but I am like, you know, I'm going to do everything I can in my power to minimize the amount of money I spend in the parks. I'm going to go to the parks because that's how I make money. I'm going to enjoy the parks with you all when we go. But I'm done. I'm not. I love like the popcorn. Like I love all the tchotchkes. I don't need any of this stuff. And I adore Disney. And if there's something that I really, really want because it means something to me, sure. But like just the fun, no more. No more. I might do after hours at Epcot, Magic Kingdom after hours because I think there's value there. But $200 for a party ticket for the same party I've seen, I can go to my own YouTube and watch it, and I don't want to watch it. And I know it's like, yeah, but Royce, we like when you take us to the Christmas party. Well, then go watch it on YouTube. But at some point, you know, to use the phrase, you got to put your money where your mouth is. In this case, it's staying where my mouth is because I'm done. And the $10 for a cookie, that was it. That was the last straw. And it wasn't about the $10. It was about the balls. Okay? You got to have cojones the size of spaceship Earth to charge $10 for that cookie. Andre the Giant level to charge $10 for that cookie. Comments. Oh, you know, you didn't have to buy it. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for explaining the transactional process to me. Thank you for explaining commerce. I didn't realize I didn't actually have to buy the $10 cookie, but I'm also entitled to purchase something and then have a review. That's why I don't even respond anymore in the comments because it's just like I see the comments come in and I'm like, ugh, this video is getting too many views. I'm like the opposite of what you're supposed to be doing when you're in my position. I'm like, please, there's like 250 people watching the baking live. I'm like, please go watch something else. And mind you, as I said to Kenzie, I realized I was everybody's second screen entertainment. I wasn't born yesterday. I understand that most people during the baking live were watching a movie or a sporting event or cooking. I'm your second entertainment. It's secondary entertainment. I'm not under any grand illusion that what we're doing here is quality. I'm trying to get there. That's why I think this long form conversational format, this radio format, will get us there. And I think that conversation with Jay like that is quality. But I'm just not one. I just don't buy into it. Like, hi everybody, I'm here at Epcot today. Today we're going to do the cookie stroll. As you can see, I'm bounding as Figment. I'm wearing purple sweatpants, purple Nikes, a purple hoodie, and I've got on purple face paint. The face paint's available on my Amazon store. Like, I just can't be that person. It's cringe. I see 250 people watching me bake, and I'm like, there's too many people in here. Get a third screen. 253-263-1540, 253-263-1540. Sometimes I don't even post to my stories. Like I should be posting to my stories. Hey, I'm at the Walmart. I'm trying to find a cupcake tin. I should be posting to my stories because that's like connective tissue. But sometimes I just don't. I'm like the reluctant influencer. Leave me alone. Don't watch. Don't follow. Don't share. I don't care. I mean, I do care, obviously. I'm trying to build an audience. But I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to sit here and everything's going to be, rainbows and puppies, even though I have no problem with either. Okay, when it's not, I'm going to tell you the truth. The reason so many people don't tell you the truth is because they want to maintain that facade. Social media is supposed to show you that everything is great, everything is perfect, nothing is wrong, and you're not supposed to challenge things. So the average Disney content creator, this $10 cookie is delicious. You could get 20 for this cookie. I'm surprised it was only $10. I've never eaten a gingerbread cookie as delicious as this. Thank you, Disney, for making this $10 cookie so affordable for those of us that would have given you 20. Thank you, Disney. I can't know. If you do something crazy, I'm going to call you out on it. $10 for a cookie is robbery. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. (253-263-1540). What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I mean, I know you're not going to cancel the next trip, but I mean, at what point do you actually change your ways? I don't want to say at what point do you stop going, but maybe you change your approach to going. Like I said earlier, I hear from folks all the time, we don't stay on property anymore. Oh, we're only going to go and we're going to go to Springs and we're just going to do one after-hour event, and that's it for us this year. And I tell you all, you're doing that, and I don't know. Some of y'all are afraid of a 12-hour flight. I don't understand why. Take an edible. Go to Tokyo, and you'll never want to go to Disney World again. Okay? Go to Tokyo, and you'll be like, why? Why am I going to Disney World? Like, why am I going to give them all of that extra money when I could go to Tokyo for so much less? The 12-hour flight's not that bad. They give you wine at the beginning of the flight. They're like, okay, grown-up babies, everybody, here's your sippy cup. Do you want red sippy cup or do you want the white sippy cup? Okay, and then you're going to go night-night, at least for the first 2 hours, and then when you wake up, we're going to charge you for the wine. It's no longer free. The first one's free. Oldest trick in the book. I saw $436 round-trip ticket from L.A. to Tokyo in the new year, February. Not Zip Air, not Zippy Air or whatever. By the way, Zip Air sounds horrible, right? It literally sounds like the airplane is zipped up the middle and it's going to just come apart at the seams at some point, right? But we forgot to destabilize the cabin pressure or what. I don't know. I'm just using words. But it's United. It's $463. By the way, destabilizing the cabin pressure is a horrible idea. So this is what happens when you don't call in. I'm doing my thing. But at $463, it's United. It's not some cheapo airline. That's a legit airline. That's United. And I think you still get a bag on the airplane at that price, I believe. So here I am again telling you, don't go to Disney World. Go to Tokyo Disneyland. The 12-hour flight is not that bad. It's like a $10 bus ride from Haneda Airport to Tokyo Disney. It's less than $75 a day to go to the park. It's $160 a night to stay at a hotel room right behind Tomorrowland, off property, and it's a 5-minute walk. There's shuttle buses too. It's not even run by the Walt Disney Company. It's run by the Oriental Land Company. So right now, you can go to Tokyo for a round-trip ticket under $500 from L.A., per person, okay? Let's say you did 3 nights. Or let's just say that's what? 3 in the fun. Let's just call it another $500, about $450, another $500. It's $1,000 for 3 nights in a hotel and an airfare. I'm not saying go to Japan for the rest of your life, even just a quick trip. So that's $1,000. Then you go to the park for 3 days in the park. That's not even $300 $1,300. So you add some food. Couple bucks for tchotchkes. That's a 3-day trip to Tokyo Disneyland for significantly less than $2,000. I don't get it. The flight ain't bad. And United's legit. I mean, that's a real airline. That's not Zippy Air. That's not Southwest. Spirit, the taxi cab of the sky? No. By the way, could you imagine? First of all, I don't think those planes are even built to go that far, but a Spirit flight to Tokyo, oh my gosh, people would be like, let me off now. Like, I'll just get out here. Now, sir, we're over the ocean. I'm aware. Thank you. That's another company. They're supposed to be going bankrupt. I think JetBlue was going to acquire Spirit Airlines. They're going, thank God. Spirit Airlines, nobody should acquire them. Spirit Airlines, that's a company that should go into the abyss. Spirit Airlines is horrible. You know, for a company with such an uplifting name, they're pretty depressing to fly. Do you know how many times I've seen grown-ups reduced to tears coming off of a Spirit flight? Not counting me, at least twice. 253-263-1540. So, traveling up to New York, trying to think, what amusement park could I go to and stream, you know? Like, on this journey, like, let's go somewhere. You know, let's go, like, there used to be abandoned amusement parks that I know of that are long gone that would be fun to explore. I love the idea of exploring abandoned amusement parks. So I don't know if anybody knows of anything, but if there's anything like an abandoned amusement park on the East Coast or even up in the New York area, like, I'm going to have some time. I'll stream the city. There's a couple things I want to do on the live. But, like, if I could just find an abandoned amusement park to explore, I don't care if I have to, like, hop the fence. I don't care about that. But, that would be cool. That would be a cool thing. So we're going to go up to New York, a little side trip. And, I don't even know where I'm staying. I don't have any plans. I just know that there's a TikTok event. So even if I wind up just flying up to go to the one event and ditch the party, because let me tell you something. These parties are horrible. Like, you go to a TikTok party, all right? And it's just, I mean, it's like, I'm not a club person, but you go to the party, you can't hear anybody. So you can't have any conversation. So you can't even really network, right? So, there's some food, some free swag, but it's more important to me to go to the offices. So maybe what happens is I just bail, you know? I'd rather hang out in the airport lounge. I'm excited to hang out in the airport lounge. That's going to be a new one for me. Nick, when we went to Tokyo, introduced me to the airport lounges. Changed my life. I am so excited for the Delta Lounge. But it would be nice to go to an amusement park. I thought, like, Cedar Point's not open. You know, Ohio's right there. I'm like, all right, like, where can I go? If I'm up in New York already, like, where's there an abandoned amusement park that I could go explore? So we'll see. There's something I'm going to do in the city or adjacent to the city with y'all. I'm not going to advertise it. We're just going to do it because I don't know the logistics of it. But it's Disney relevant, and I'm very, very excited for it. Personally, it's something I've always wanted to do. So we'll explore the city together, and we'll have a lot of fun doing those things. But I'm trying to figure out something else to do. Because there's a TikTok party, and there's a meeting, but there's like 3 days in between, and I don't, This too much. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just go up to do the meeting and then jump on a plane and go back and just not even stay up there for the party because the party is just a party. All right, so we talked about the baking live a little bit. I told you that I do need to test the podcast setup, and we're going to do that. If not this afternoon, maybe tomorrow afternoon. And then there will be a follow-up baking live due to popular demand, but also because that dough is in my fridge. So actually maybe I'll do that. I don't know. I'll tell you what. If somebody calls in, maybe I'll do a baking live later this afternoon to get rid of that dough and we'll see if the cookies come out better, and then we'll do the gingerbread ones as well. Although the gingerbread dough is going to take an hour and a half in the fridge, so maybe we cut it up with a little fortnight or something. Now I'm looking at all my topics here, and I try to stack all the fun stuff in the front of the show because I know sometimes I'm going to talk about things that you all don't want to talk about. But I got to. I have to. The president pardoned his son, and he said he wasn't going to do it. And here's all I'm going to say. It's a very, very simple analysis for me. The people in power, this is my summation. This is going to be a real brilliant statement. You ready for this one? So write it down. These people in power on either side of the aisle don't care about the working class at all. They only care about taking care of their own and lining their pockets. And people will point fingers from one side of the aisle to the other, and there'll be all the whataboutisms and all this, that, and the other. And I understand that, he said he wouldn't do it, but then he did it. So you can say he's a liar and this, that, and the other. They're all liars. That's not news. All these politicians have been liars for as long as I've been alive. But I look at it and I'm like, okay, here we go. Because now what it's going to be is all right, well, now now they're talking about the January 6th thing, and they're talking about, well, now is Trump going to come in and he's going to pardon all this? And it's like, once again, what are we talking about? Not working class folks. And you can say, well, we could talk about both. Yeah, we can, but we're not. So it's just another move like that, which, again, he said he wasn't going to do it. He did it. Fine. Okay. But now it just feeds the same old talking points about the justice system. Okay. And now it creates the whole whataboutism conversation and now begs for the counter for the January 6th. And so I just look at all this and I go, it's all just bullshit in plain English. It's all no where in this last election were working class issues. They weren't talked about. They were marginally pandered to by both sides. And I just really, 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 really wish that we could just get rid of everybody in Congress, all of them, because I have more issue with the folks in Congress than I have with anybody in the executive branch. Okay? Because it's Congress, historically, that has been the issue. And I think we should wipe everybody out of Congress and reboot Congress. So to Elon, who I can't stand, okay, who is a pimple on this nation, Elon, because that's all you are, is a pimple on this nation. If you want real government efficiency, kick them all out. Kick them all out, and let's have a midterm election right now, and let's vote in all new people. Term limits, and I want a whole new Congress. I don't want nobody. If you've ever been a congressperson, you are no longer allowed to run again. I want fresh blood, and I want working class folks legislating. And I also don't want them to be paid for it. I don't think congressmen should be paid. I think it should be volunteer. You keep your job. You go to Congress when it's in session, and then you go home to your job. (253-263-1540). That's what I want. We won't get it. Instead, it's the same old game. Trump campaigned on draining the swamp, right? Yeah, you drain the swamp, and then you put all your cronies in there. They just put Jared Kushner's father as an ambassador. If you know anything about the slumlords that are the Kushners, then you'll know that they just put one of the dirtiest weasels that this country has ever produced in a government-appointed position. And don't come at me either, because he's a Democrat, all right? So, this isn't about party. It's about It's about lining your pockets and your own self-interest, and they all do it. And we, the working class, are the ones who suffer time and time again. So what happens in 2 years? The pendulum swings the other way, and people vote the other way. And then 2 years later, the pendulum goes back the other way, and nothing gets done. I want a full reboot of Congress. Nobody gets paid, volunteer work, term limits, full reboot. It should not be a career. It should not be a career. There's no reason somebody like Nancy Pelosi or Mitch McConnell should be allowed to make a lifelong career out of being in the legislative branch. None of these people care about us. They're all just getting rich. They're just lining their pockets. Pelosi, McConnell, Newsom, Chow, the family bloodlines, folks, they're all there. Do the math. So that's my gripe. I saved it for sort of the back end because it bothers me greatly. It bothers me greatly that the way that the media just, it just keeps pitting us against each other. So now this whole pardon conversation begats a whole nother sort of counter-pardon conversation, and it keeps people divided. Nowhere in any of this is there any productive discourse about what's good for the American people. We're going to enter a very, very dark time. To the point that was made earlier about meeting people where they are. We got to meet in the middle. You can meet people where they are for sure, but you got to bring people to the middle. It's the people that are stuck in their corners, that are stuck in their bubbles. Okay, we talk about Bob Iger and a board that capitulates to him. But it's the same concept, right? You don't want to be surrounded by yes men, right? The same way you don't want to be surrounded by people that only think the way you think. Where's the opportunity to learn? Where's the opportunity to broaden your horizons? Where's the opportunity to leave your comfort zone? That's why I love this format. Because you can talk about things, right? You can't, and most people don't want you to talk about these things, right? Like the legacy media wants to spoon feed you a narrative, and they don't really want you to have a conversation. If you ever look at cable news is so scripted. Every one of those talking heads has an outline. And every one of those talking heads goes on there, and they have to argue a stance. And they're given their position ahead of time. And then the host, the quote-unquote host, the moderator, pretends to ask them a question, and then they give them the pre-scripted answer. Every once in a blue moon, things go off script. And you can tell when they go off script. Okay? But generally speaking, those conversations are completely disingenuous. There's no actual discourse occurring on cable news. Nobody's actually trying to have a conversation with a resolution. They're just jamming talking points down your throat. I worked on political campaigns. I know how it works, okay? And so many of you have too, and so many of you know how it works, right? Everything is talking point driven. But I'm going to tell you a very quick story, okay, just about the current president. Because irrespective of what you may think, anybody who holds the office is still our president. Now, I worked on Barack Obama's campaign. This is just a fun story, a little bit about me. I worked on Barack Obama's campaign, his first campaign. I was in Henderson, Nevada. It's Nevada. I had a good time in Nevada. Not Nevada, Nevada. So Henderson, right off the strip. And I was up there for months. And my hair was down to my shoulders, like curls down to my shoulders. I'll never forget, before I was up there, I was in L.A., walking down the street, and a homeless guy came up to me and goes, "Hey, you got any change?" And I said, "No, sorry." And he goes, "What do you mean? You're rich. You're the lead singer of the Counting Crows." And I was like, "Sir, I am not, but thank you." Also, very weird that somebody begging for money would further try to negotiate and push back, but only in LA. Everything's a negotiation. So my hair's down to here, And I worked on the Obama campaign, and Obama had just picked Joe Biden as his vice president. There was a sandwich shop in Henderson, Nevada. I walked in there. My hair is to here. My hair is down on my shoulders. Curly hair down on my shoulders. The guy at the sandwich shop goes, "Oh, are you Slash?" They all sound the same. "Are you Slash?" I was like, "No, Slash is way taller." Okay, weird. Okay, also, I don't look anything like Slash, but this is how long my hair was. So Biden is now the vice presidential nominee, or he's been picked. Obama has picked him as his vice president. So they're doing a campaign rally, and I'm working with Secret Service, and I'm staff, but I don't have a staff badge because they didn't have any staff badges. So I'm working the event in Henderson, Nevada. It's me, the Secret Service, and there's nobody around because it's early and there's nobody at the event yet, right? And they're like, "Don't worry about it. We'll just give you code name. You don't need a badge. We got you." So my Secret Service code name was the Hair. So I'm running around the event. Anytime I need to get through a Secret Service checkpoint, like, "The Hair's coming through. The Hair's coming through." I'm like, "This is awesome," right? By the way, this is like my second time hanging out with Secret Service. That's a story for another time. The Hair's coming through. The Hair's coming through. So now the event starts. And I'm talking to the Secret Service guy, and I'm asking him questions because I didn't know, and I was talking to him about political affiliation and how does it work. And he goes, "Look, our job is to protect the president and or whoever we're assigned to, and your party politics doesn't come into play." And we were saying, like, I was getting educated, So now Biden does his speech and he gets off the stage, and I'm at the front of the stage, but I don't have a staff badge on, so I'm mixed in with the people, and I'm standing next to one of the Secret Service guy, codename the Hair. And Biden goes and he starts talking to these people, and there's a bunch of older ladies next to me. And he gets to me and he goes to shake my hand. And this is why I will always love this man, irrespective of politics, okay? And I've had the good fortune of meeting many of our presidents, not all, but at least being in the presence of most of them. And which is a very cool thing to realize. So he grabs my hand. He doesn't know I'm staff. I'm just some guy in the crowd with a bunch of hair on his head. And he doesn't talk to me. He just holds my hand, and he talks to 2 or 3 other people. But he never lets go of my hand. Finally, he comes back to me, and he looks me right in the eye, and we have an exchange. Doesn't know I'm staff. I don't tell him I'm staff. He just thinks I'm a constituent. And it was the most lovely human interaction that I've ever had with a politician, and I've had several. And it was such a sweet exchange. And it was and he didn't know I was staff, so it wasn't him playing to me as a staff member. For whatever reason, he chose to hold my hand, talk to a whole bunch of people, and it was a very weird moment. I'm like, when it's all done, Secret Service turns to me, and he goes, "It's our job to pull your hands apart. But it was clear to me that he wasn't going to let go, so I didn't even try." And that was my interaction with the president. I mean, that was Obama's vice president at the time. That was Biden. Now he's the president. And I just remember that moment. So I for all the vilification people want to do and give the man a hard time, like and I think all of our politicians underserve us. But there was a human interaction there. It's a personal moment in my life. I had the good fortune to not just shake his hand, but to look right into his eyes. And I just think he's a good human being. And I mean, you could say all politicians are corrupt, but I'll never forget that moment. Now, I've had moments like that where I've met Obama and, looked into his eyes. I met Clinton, looked into his eyes. I stood next to Trump. Those are my statements. So, but it was just this really amazing moment, and it was just super cool to have a Secret Service code name, And out of all of those other interactions, that's the only one worth sharing. The rest of them, I mean, the Bill Clinton interaction was kind of fun because he asked me how he did. I had a staff badge on. That was the only difference. But he's like, how did I do? And I was like, yeah, you did great. He's like, oh, all right, I'm Bill Clinton. And I'm like, no. And, but the Biden interaction was just a real human moment because he didn't know I was staff. 253-263-1540. I'll never grow my hair that long again. That was a project. In fact, Howard Dean at the time took a picture with me. Howard Dean comes up to me. This is why you got to love politicians, right? Howard Dean comes up to me and he goes, hey, nice to see you again. I'm like, bro, I've never seen you in my life. Howard Dean was running for president. He was the one that went, yeah. Remember, he was like, we're going to go North Carolina. We're going to go to New Mexico, Indiana, then to the White House. Yeah. Remember him? And then that was like the end of his career. So anyway, so he comes into our office because I was actually working out of Dina Titus's office. She had never been a congresswoman before. She was like new to the scene. And we're working out of Dina Titus's offices. This is where I'm working, by the way. This is where Affleck's mom was when I told that story, just to bring it all back. Howard Dean comes in. Well, let me preface this. So I'm working on the Obama campaign, and the way you work on a campaign is you make phone calls, hundreds and hundreds of phone calls, and it's exhausting. Okay, and you can only imagine the kind of things you hear on the other end of the phone. So they're like, we're in our 2 hours of phone calls or whatever we're doing in that moment, and they're like, listen, the DNC chairman, I think he was chair at the time, Howard Dean is coming. We need somebody to clean the toilets. Who wants to scrub the toilets? I'll do it. And I was like, oh, my God, anything to get off of these phones. And I spent an hour and a half scrubbing these toilets. They were so pristine. So Howard Dean walks in. He says, hi, good to see you again. I'm like, bro, you've never seen me ever. And then we take a picture together, and the distance between us is so wide, you could have drove a Mack truck. Because he saw that hair and probably thought I was a terrorist and didn't want to ruin any future election prospects, okay? Meanwhile, I'm like, listen, homie, I just scrubbed the toilets. You better go use them. He never used them. You're on the air. Who's this?
Oh, hi, Royce. It's Bonnie.
How are you?
I'm good. I don't know what to discuss. A little nervous. But you said that I'm thinking being nice for the chat, and you said that you could do a Bacon Live if someone called in.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry. It took me a minute to understand what you were saying. First, I thought you said a Bacon Live, and I was like, ooh, a Bacon Live.
Bacon Live with your cookies.
But a Bacon Live? I'm not cooking bacon. I'm just
baking.
I know, but hear me out. Just a live where all I do is consume bacon, just sitting there eating strips of bacon. I mean, you're on to something.
No, not bacon. No.
Oh, baking.
Oh.
Yeah. I said if somebody called in, I would do the baking live later. So you're calling in. You're calling in for that?
Yes.
All right. So okay, I got it now. Message received.
Okay. And are you going to see any Broadway shows or anything in New York?
Ooh, I should. That's a good. What should I see?
I don't know. There's lots of new things out.
Is there Little Shop? I want to go see. Like I would go see Little Shop. I'd go see Lion King. I would see. I don't know. I don't know what else is out there. I would even go like. Is Miss Saigon on Broadway?
I heard Sunset Boulevard. What?
Miss Saigon?
No, I heard Sunset Boulevard was really good.
Did you, Bonnie?
What else
Did you know that when they did Miss Saigon on Broadway and they had the helicopter on stage?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to know how they did the helicopter propeller?
No.
You ready for this? A rope and a tennis ball. They put a rope and a tennis ball, and they spun it on a motor on the top of the helicopter for Miss Saigon on the stage, and that looked like the helicopter blades.
Oh, wow.
The more you know.
That's cool.
Yeah. I should get a twofer. But I'm very excited. I love Broadway, so I'll stream Manhattan. I mean, I love Manhattan, right? So we'll just roam the city. So you'll definitely get some city lives. I love Manhattan. We'll eat some pizza.
How about you can also do like a bagel and pizza tasting.
Yeah.
That's another idea.
Well, we could go to Ray's.
Bagel, because there's bagels and pizzas all over the place.
Oh, there's Ray's. There's original Ray's. There's famous Ray's. There's original famous Ray's. There's famous original Ray's.
Yeah.
Those are all pizza places. I would like to go to Papaya King. Have you ever heard of Papaya King? Or Gray's Papaya?
No.
I don't even know if those are around.
I didn't grow up in New York. My parents grew up in New York, and they take us to. They've taken lots of New York trips, but I'm not familiar with that one.
Do they still make Zagat guides?
I don't know.
I think I'm gonna
Yelp is very popular.
No, I'm not a fan of Yelp. I need a Zagat guide, Bonnie. I need a Zagat guide. I want to know what Zagat has to say.
I go by Yelp.
Yeah, no. You know, Zagat was started by Bob Zagat. No, people don't know that.
Oh. Yeah, I remember I remember it.
They don't know that because it's not true. I made that up. But Zagat Guide's real. Bob Saget is real. They're not related.
Okay.
All right, I'll leave you alone. Thank you, Bonnie. I appreciate you. Bonnie's going to take screenshots of me on the Baking Live and put them in the Discord. Bob Saget has nothing to do with the Zagat Guide. Very sweet, very sweet. Thank you for calling. I should see a Broadway show. I just got to do my homework and see what's on Broadway. Listen, I still need to see Wicked. I got to go see Wicked. Maybe I'll just go see it in New York. Maybe I'll go see it in New York. But eating pizza, lots of pizza, I'm all for that. We could do a live walking around eating pizza. Bagels, not so much. That's a lot of dough. That's a lot of dough. And it's kind of hard to rip the middle. You know, I remember growing up, there was that trend where people started ripping out the middle of the bagel, you know, gutting the bagel. Nah, it's too much. Stick to the pizza. But I'm looking forward to going to the city. And I'm looking forward to going to TikTok headquarters. And I think if I can pull off my little, I'll call it a surprise, but I'm not trying to oversell it, my little side quest, if I can pull that off, that'll be very, very cool. I just don't want to tell you we're going to do something and then have to answer later why we're not doing it. And now why Flash Player, my computer just dropped a Flash Player update. I didn't think Flash Player was still a thing. Can you update? Who's using Adobe Flash Player? Hi, Ellis. Ellis.
Yes.
You know, you're a professional. Like, you just know the perfect time to call. I love that giggle. Did anyone ever tell you that you have the same? Excuse me. Did anyone ever tell you you have the same exact giggle as Frederica Whitfield?
No.
Oh, go on. What were you going to say?
I was going to say I heard you were going to New York and looking at going to see Broadway's, but I know that the Harry Potter on Broadway, which would probably interest you in seeing it. But I don't know if you would want to see it, but I don't know if you can stream the Broadway.
No, you cannot stream Broadway shows.
No.
We're just in the middle of watching Phantom of the Opera.
Mm-hmm.
We're watching Les Mis. They're in the middle of Master of the House, and I'm just like, thank you for the galaxy, Bonnie.
Yeah.
Master of the House, doer of the deeds. Oh, the snipe.
Yeah. Oh, the Jets.
Oh, you went West Side Story?
No.
A little Sharks and the Jets there?
I was saying that.
Do you want to?
The gift goal?
Do you want to sing? Oh, the Jets or the gift goal? I thought you were talking about the flying jet gift goal. I thought you were talking about the Sharks and the Jets, and I just thought me and you were going to bust out in the West Side Story together.
Mm-mm.
Do you want to sing a little West Side Story with me?
No thanks.
Right? Tonight.
I'm not gonna sing.
Ellis will be playing Fortnite tonight. No? Your turn.
No, I'll be playing Fortnite tonight, but I won't be
Sing it, brother.
singing along.
Sing it.
I won't be singing.
Did you call to give me your review on Wicked?
I did.
Oh, I bet you I know your Wicked review.
What?
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
You be me and I'll be you. So you go, okay, hi,
Okay.
I'm Royce. Ellis, what did you think of Wicked? Go. You be me.
I thought it was awful.
No. You're supposed to be me
What?
asking you, and
Okay.
I'm you answering me.
Okay.
All right, go.
I thought it was good.
No. I'm going to be you giving the review.
What?
You're supposed to ask me.
Okay.
I'm Ellis, you're Royce.
Oh.
Go.
So I asked you, what's your review?
Yeah, you're going to ask me. You're going to
What
go,
is
hey,
your
Ellis,
review?
what's your review of Wicked?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go.
Okay. Hey, Alice, what's the review of Wicked?
It wasn't very good. Is that it? Were you going to say that?
Yeah.
That's your review, right?
Right.
I
But
nailed it.
it wasn't good, but it was awful too. It wasn't my type of movie.
It wasn't. It was awful too.
Yeah.
Wicked. It wasn't just bad. It was awful too. Wow. Now, what was the point where you said this is awful too? Like, I mean, at what point was it just bad, but then suddenly also was awful? Do you remember that moment?
I don't know. No.
Was Spider-Man in the movie?
Nope.
Nope. That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Not even in the post-credits?
He's not even a part of Wizard of Oz.
He's in the same cinematic universe.
Spider-Man? No.
Absolutely.
Spider-Man is not in Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, yes, he is, because Tobey Maguire was Spider-Man with James Franco. James Franco was the son of Harry Osborn, or he was Harry Osborn, the son of Norman Osborn, and then he was in the Wizard of Oz movie, the Great and Powerful Oz. He played the wizard, which means that Spider-Man is in the Oz universe.
Okay.
So why wasn't he in the movie?
I don't know.
Did you stay for the post-credits?
There were no post-credits.
Maybe you left early. Did you stay to the...
I checked.
You stayed to the...
I Googled were there any post-credits after Wicked and say...
Wait.
And it said, no, you don't have to send.
Wait, you went to see Wicked, watched the whole movie, and then decided to go home and Google the post-credits?
No, I Googled the movie. I Googled to see if there were post-credits, and Google said no.
Oh.
There are no post-credits.
Who did you go with?
My mom and her cousins.
So you were like, Mom, we can leave. There's no post credits.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's the point of that?
Well, but how do you know the Avengers? How do you know the Avengers weren't going to show up at the end?
That's highly unlikely.
Highly unlikely, which means there's a chance.
I mean,
you didn't say
Wicked,
you didn't say completely unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, I know your mother. There's nothing your mother loves more than being micromanaged by you. Is that true?
Yeah.
Right. So when you said, Mom, we can leave, did she say, I want to see the rest of the credits?
We just walked right up and got out after the movie was over.
Oh, wow. So you have no appreciation for the crew. You don't care about those people, right? Below the line, not for you?
No, well, I care about the crew, but I didn't really care about the movie.
But the crew made the movie.
Yeah.
Right. I just say you stay for the credits to honor the crew. You pay respect to the crew. You're saying the movie was so bad, the heck with this crew, I'm out.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for you.
But I'm really looking forward to the movie Craven the Hunter.
What'd you say? You were looking forward to Predator versus Moana?
No, Craven, the Spider-Man villain, Craven.
Oh. I legit heard Predator versus Moana.
No, you did not hear that.
No, I made it up. But imagine.
Oh.
I like you called me out on that I did not hear that.
I was going to say I'm looking forward to maybe Craven the Hunter, the villain from Spider-Man, is doing his own movie.
But isn't Craven the guy that's got like the fur jacket over him or whatever?
Yeah.
Right? And then he always hung out with Alicia.
Right.
He was obsessed with Alicia. I just remember Craven from the cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Who's playing the Craven?
I don't know, but that's the movie I'm looking forward to.
I know. You mentioned it a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
What else are you looking forward to?
I don't know. Might see Moana or might not, but I probably...
Wait. Don't gloss over that. That's a huge statement you just made.
Okay.
You say it again. You may see Moana or you might not.
Well, will see Moana.
You will. I didn't mean to break you down. I'm not forcing you to see it. That you sounded you like that.
No.
Don't see it if you don't want to see it.
No, I do want to see it. I saw the first one.
So you feel obligated?
No.
So then don't go see it. Well, you said you may see it or you may not see it. I'm just trying to figure out what's the deciding factor.
Oh, I don't have any deciding factors.
Oh, flip a coin like Two-Face.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Two-Face?
Yeah.
You don't know your
Batman villain?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, excuse me.
Okay.
I was going to say you don't know your Batman villains, do you?
Well, I know the Joker, the Riddler, Two-Face, Catwoman, the Penguin.
Go on.
Bane.
Man-Bat.
Uh-huh.
There's Man-Bat. There's Thing.
I don't know Man-Bat.
Okay. There's three
There's
three Catwomen. There's the Huntress.
Mm-hmm.
There's Azrael. Remember Azrael?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Do you remember, Ellis, when Bane broke Batman's back?
Uh-huh. In the movie, right?
No, in the comic books.
Oh, no, I don't read comic books.
Oh. Bane broke Batman's back in the comic books. And in the comic books, Azrael takes over the mantle of Batman. Azrael refuses to give up the mantle of Batman. So Batman actually has to fight Batman. Bruce Wayne has to fight Batman to take back Batman. But the Azrael version of Batman was like a Batman suit if Iron Man made it. It is so cool looking. And I'm like, can we not get that movie? Bane in The Dark Knight Rises, Ellis, Bane is such a poorly executed villain.
Why?
Why, you liked Bane?
No.
He's the Bane in the comic books. We talked about this last week, not you and I. But the Bane in the comic books is such a better character than the Bane in Dark Knight Rises.
I like his voice in the movie, but it's really funny.
You like what?
Bane's voice in the Dark Knight Rises movie.
You thought it's not supposed to be funny. He's a villain. He sounded like a sad clown.
Voice.
Oh, Gotham City. Yeah. Oh, I will destroy Gotham City. Alice, I'm Bane. Hi, Alice. You think that's funny?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Alice. It's me, Bane. How are you?
Good.
Why are you mocking me?
No.
No what? Have you seen Batman lately?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Do you know which way Batman went?
No.
Did he go left or right? I'm going to make my ringtone your giggle. Is that okay?
Okay.
Do I have to pay a license fee for that? Every time my phone rings, I just want to hear your giggle. Can I record that later? Can we just get you like I'll do the auction voice and we'll record like 8 different giggles and.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your holiday plans, Ellis?
I have no holiday plans.
Oh, what do you don't have Christmas plans?
Well, like, we go out to dinner, then I think we go over to my mom's brother's house, then we come back home.
Oh, can I come over?
Yeah, if you want.
All right. Do you have kosher food?
Kosher food?
Yeah, ask your mom if Christmas dinner will be kosher, because I'm thinking of coming over.
Okay.
I'll wait. Put me on hold.
Kosher food.
I'll wait.
Okay.
All right. He's really going to go ask his mom right now.
I want to be surprised if it'll be kosher food.
You will or won't be surprised?
I won't be surprised.
You won't be surprised? That means it is kosher? Are you gonna? Where is she there?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Where's your mom? Is she busy?
No, she's not busy.
Ask her if she wants to be on the radio. I would love to talk to your mother.
Okay.
Stephanie's brilliant. Let's see if this. She's probably like, Ellis, leave me alone. By the way, if you want to call in 253-263-1540, I just asked Ellis to ask his mom if Christmas dinner is going to be kosher. But she probably doesn't want to talk to me. Let's be honest. Let's see.
Hello.
Stephanie, you're on the air. Don't say anything crazy.
Well, okay.
Well, you're like, then I can't talk. Sorry, we're wrapping. How are you?
What's up?
Nothing. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, this delay.
Just decorating for Christmas and just dealing with everyday craziness. What's up with you?
Nothing. I was just talking to Ellis. He's always the gift that keeps on giving, and he said you were there.
Yes.
And I just thought if you didn't mind talking to me for 2 seconds.
No, I don't mind.
Everybody loves Ellis. I asked Ellis if I could come over for Christmas dinner. He said yes, and I asked, will the food be kosher? So he was going to ask you if will the food be kosher?
Well, it'll be kosher. It'll be good.
Okay, that's not the same thing. Will there be a rabbi there?
I know it's not. No, there will not be a rabbi.
All right. Do you need me to bring a rabbi if I show up?
Sure. We'd love for you to come.
Oh, but not the rabbi. I see.
You're always welcome. Ellis would love if you came.
Could you imagine? Can I come to your
I
house?
think you need to come.
What?
Huh?
No, go on. Go on.
No, I said I really think you need to come for Jazz Fest because you would love it.
I'll do it. And then can I do a baking live in your kitchen with Ellis?
Of course. That'd be interesting.
Oh, my God. Interesting. You'll have the cops on speed dial. You probably already do.
Yes, that's for sure.
Listen, there's a package going out to Ellis. I texted you about this.
Yes.
It's not a Christmas present. There's some folks that won prizes that were very, very generous to say, hey, send them to Ellis. Because everybody thinks that Ellis...
Oh, that is so sweet.
Everybody thinks Ellis doesn't have enough things. But Ellis has, like, all the things.
Well,
he's
Ellis has everything but nothing.
Right, but he's like the ultimate kid, right? So, like, Ellis has every skin in Fortnite. And I'm like, oh, my God. Like, I hope you all have stock.
Wait, he has everything what?
He has, like, every skin in Fortnite. I'm like, who keeps giving this kid V-Bucks? And then I'm like, he's not a kid. He's like 40.
No, he's 37.
I know how old he is. I'm rounding. But, like, he just, I mean, are you aware? Do you not realize? Maybe your card is connected to his Fortnite and you don't know it.
Oh, you mean, is that what all those charges are?
Yeah. This kid's buying new skins on Fortnite. Every time Fortnite drops a new skin, he's buying it, Stephanie.
Well, I have no idea. I don't even know what that is.
You might have equity in Epic Games.
Sitting here going, that's Fortnite skin. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you might.
But wait, he asked for game cards, and I buy him game cards.
Oh, all right. So there's some valve. There's something's moderating this.
Oh no, no.
Oh boy, at least you're honest. So Ellis is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's basically every time a new Fortnite character comes out, Ellis has it. And here's the thing, Stephanie, between you and I, on a whim, this guy retires from Fortnite. He retired from Fortnite the other day. We said, let's play. He goes, I retired. I deleted it from my console.
But he deleted the whole game?
Yeah. And then
Alice, you deleted the game from your console?
it's back now. It's back now.
Oh.
But because I stopped playing, he deleted it. And then the other day, like, I'm like, Ellis, do you want to play? And he goes, nah, my console's in rest mode. I'm like, well, wake up the console. Who's running the show? I love his literal mind. Will you please tell the story and then I'll leave you alone of the dog?
Which one?
Exactly. When he said the dog was such a dog.
Oh, the effing dog?
Yeah, because he what was it, like, what's the dog's name? Harry or something?
Harry.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Yeah. So Ellis, we had 3 Shih Tzus. The oldest one was like a lion, and he was a sweet dog, but Ellis antagonized this poor dog to no end. And the dog would like watch over everybody. And one morning he was upstairs, and I heard him growl coming down, and he like snapped. But I didn't realize that he had bit Ellis on the finger. And so we get in the car and we're going to school. I'm driving him to school. And I look over and Ellis' hand is bleeding. I'm like, Ellis, what happened to your hand? And he goes, Harry bit me. And I said, oh, no, well, we got to go back. I can't send you to school with your hand bleeding like that. So we come back home. I get a Band-Aid on it. I clean it up. And we get in the car and we're driving. And he goes, that Harry's a effing dog. But he said the real word.
He called the dog a dog. Like
a fucking dog.
Thank you for cursing.
For clarification.
Yeah, that was the part
Ellis
I was trying.
Never curses.
Yeah,
Ellis does not.
Well,
curse.
that's not true because there was the story that you told me that he cursed that one time when you, me, Yoey, and Michelle all went out to dinner. And then he went back to the room and he said, and he was like, "I'm tired. I'm so effing tired."
Oh yeah. Well, those are cursing nights. The last night. Okay, so for Disney, Royce always says, okay, Ellis, you can hang with me, but you got to keep up. Can you keep up? And Ellis is like, yeah, I can keep up. And he does. He keeps up with Royce, and he goes. But the last night, it was my sister and I and Royce and Ellis, and we went from morning till close. And we had a few drinks, and we were goofing off, and we didn't get off the bus at the right location, so we had to walk home longer than normal. And we get to the room, and we said, Ellis, go ahead and you take your shower first. So my sister and I were in the room just talking, waiting for him to get out of the shower. And he's in the other room, and we could hear him. He's like, oh my God, my feet. I'm so effing tired. I can't even stand it anymore. Oh.
But he said it.
But he said it. Moaning. Yeah, he said it. And he did it the last time when we were there too. So it's a ritual. On the last night, he's like done. And then on the plane ride, he's like, so when are we going back?
Oh, yeah. He told me the other day that y'all were planning a trip again.
Oh, well, we are. We are going to come. But we're coming, but I don't want to come in April again. Like beginning of May.
Yeah, we'll talk about. We don't need to broadcast to the whole world the timing of things because you'll have people lining up to meet Ellis.
Oh well, but I was thinking of coming at a different time of year.
You got to go to Tokyo.
I would love to do that.
Let's go. I'll go with y'all.
I just don't know how Ellis would do that.
He'll be fine.
Tokyo.
What the hell's the difference? He doesn't listen to anybody
he
anyway.
Said no. You've never even been. I'm not going to argue with him.
Did you hear what I? Don't argue with him. I'll argue with him. Save that for me. What did you hear? What I just said?
I'll leave that for you. What'd you say?
I said he doesn't listen to anybody anyway. What the hell's the difference with the language?
Well, that's true.
Like he's not gonna.
That's for sure.
It doesn't matter what they're saying. It doesn't. You'd be like, Ellis, no, we're not doing that.
Right.
I'll just keep going.
Just keep going.
At least in
And
Japanese,
he's like,
he won't
wait,
say it.
what? I'm standing in line to see Stitch.
Yeah, we'll be like, that's what they
What
said.
do you mean you're not going to let me in the line?
Yeah, we'll just lie and tell them that everything in Japanese is about Stitch. We'll be like, no, this Indiana Jones ride, we're in line for Stitch.
You know, I was walking around the house and I heard you talking about William's company.
Yeah.
His travel agency.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
He is awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
He really is. I turned him on to a friend of mine, and they're actually in Disney right now. And he hooked them up with all the right restaurants and told them, you know, great guy. And
Good.
Really good service.
Love hearing that. Good.
Yes.
Well, I don't want to hold you up, but honestly, like, don't go to Disney World. Plan a Tokyo trip.
Peter's not going to go to Tokyo.
Why not? Oh, my God. Could you imagine Peter in Tokyo? He'll literally look like Godzilla walking around Tokyo.
He definitely would.
Like, Peter's like 7 feet tall.
Between you and him, y'all might get kicked out.
And
might get kicked out.
First of all, I was going to ask you to tell Peter to call into the show one of these days, but I don't know if that's probably a good idea. Peter's huge. Peter's like 7 foot tall. Peter and walking through Tokyo proper, forget about it. Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, it's just the flight there, huh?
Everybody says that the flight's fine. You love it. They give you wine. It's like all you can drink. It's great.
Mm.
The wheels.
That's something I'd have to contemplate.
We'll talk about it. But, I mean, I'll take Ellis to Tokyo with y'all.
Yeah.
Not on my own.
With y'all. Okay, we'll talk about it.
Anyway, I hope you have a great holiday. I appreciate y'all. And
I will.
Hold that package over his head because, you know, leverage is a good thing.
Definitely. Okay.
Well, first of all, he thinks he's a Harry Potter fan.
For sanity purposes, it might just have to be a right thing right away because I just, you know.
Oh, I know. But you never know. You never know what's happening in the moment with him. But like he suddenly he loves Harry Potter, so he had to have this Harry Potter blind box. So I sent it to him.
Oh, he loves Harry Potter. He has read every Harry Potter book.
Well, listen.
Seen the movies.
News to me.
You know.
And he's got a dinosaur chicken nugget pillow coming.
Wait, what?
Exactly.
Ooh, that sounds kind of gross.
It's not like actual chicken.
Very interesting.
It's shaped like a giant dino chicken nugget, but it's a pillow. I got it off the TikTok shop. They sent me a free sample. Ellis saw it and had to have it. So much like you giving him the package right away.
Look like the texture of a real chicken nugget?
No, it's Stephanie. It's a pillow. It's not chicken. It just looks like a nugget.
He's got a chicken nugget, like a dino chicken nugget.
It's like a giant...
I will see it when it comes.
Yeah, but do you know what a pillow is?
Yes, of course.
It's soft.
But you know how you've seen like pillows that look like bacon?
Yeah.
Like a real piece of
bacon. But it doesn't taste.
I'm like,
it's not
who would
made
want to
of
put their head on a pillow of bacon?
Ellis, he saw the fakakta chicken, the dino chicken nugget. He had to have it. Okay, so I sent it to him. I don't care. I don't need it. But he sees these things and he fixates. And much like you, I've learned that it's easier to just fine. You can have it, so that he stops asking.
Yeah.
That's his whole MO. He's very good at it.
What, Ellis? Oh, he said, please come for Christmas.
I can't. The food won't be kosher.
And then he said he'd fly back with you to Disney.
He'll fly back with me to Disney. I'll ask him if he doesn't mind traveling underneath the airplane.
If you travel in the travel compartment where the luggage is.
Did he say okay?
Yeah.
He said, oh, okay. I would come
I heard you're going to New York?
Yeah, I'm going to TikTok headquarters. Explain to him that you don't cook kosher, therefore I'm offended and I will not be attending.
Oh, he said since we don't cook kosher, that he's offended by that and he won't come. Well, he wants you to come.
I can't do it. Jewish law prohibits me.
No can do.
Stephanie, have a great day.
No can do, Al. All right, Maurice. Y'all, you have a good day.
I'll talk to you later. Happy holidays.
Okay.
Bye.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
Talk soon. Bye.
Are you ready to spice up your kitchen this holiday season? Pampered Chef has all the goodies, from spatulas and mandolins to amazing pots and pans and knives. Plus, don't miss out on small appliances like the deluxe air fryer and coffee maker to make your holiday cooking a breeze. Reach out to Colleen Herman at pamperedchef.com/PWS/Colleen Herman. Are you on vacation and the unthinkable happens? Have you been injured in an accident? Don't wait. Get the help you deserve when you need it the most at the law offices of Nicole M. Kennedy. They fight for your rights and work tirelessly to get you the compensation you deserve. Call now at 305-213-5438, 305-213-5438 for a free consultation. That's the law office of Nicole M. Kennedy. Last minute shopping from the parks, looking to ship that package back to your house and not struggle with taking it on the airplane? Call my friends at the UPS store located at 6526 Old Brick Road. That is right behind the Magic Kingdom. They will help you out. And if you're local, they've got P.O. boxes and a notary as well. That is the UPS store at 6526 Old Brick Road. And if you're looking to book a trip, travel anywhere, theme parks, Disney cruises, William.bailey is the man for you. William.bailey will help you book your trip, customize your experience, and find you the best pricing available. You can use the travel form on my website. You can reach out to William.bailey at academytravel.com, William.bailey at academytravel.com, and he will get you started. Sometimes we're so worried about this life and this moment we forget to plan for the life for those we leave behind. With no estate plan, you could be leaving those you love the most with high taxes, probate fees, an incomplete or divided estate, and legal fights and fees. A will or trust is not just for the Rockefellers anymore. If you live in Florida, contact RK Law today to make an appointment and safeguard the future of those you love. Send an email to Russell at RK Law Pro to schedule your appointment today. That's Russell at RKLawPro.com. All right, I'm going to wrap it up, everybody. It's been a great show. Stephanie, thank you so much. Stephanie coming in clutch at the end there. Ellis, as always, the gift that keeps on giving. And thank you for listening. Thank you for calling in. I will see you soon. We'll hang out on TikTok for a quick minute. This has been another successful radio show. 253-263-1540. Write it down because I will see you back here tomorrow morning. Until then, ta-ta.